brought to you by
John Jones Auto Group, McDonald's of Salem, Salem Crossing, Meadowview Healthcare, McAllister Land Consulting.
Also brought to you by Salem Speedway, Washington County Tire, Schneck Hospital, Papa John's of Salem, City of Salem Parks Department, and Marshall Monument.
And we are back. Zach Larimore and Brandon Corbin here on 97.9 WSLM. Tonight we are over here at the Paul A. Graves Athletic Stadium at Jim Ralston Field, where the Salem Lions are set to host the Clarksville Generals for round one of Sectional 40.
Yeah, Brandon, essentially it's a new season. It's tournament time. We've waited 9 long weeks for the tournament. A little bit unfamiliar territories for Salem. We've dropped down to a 2A school. We're in the 2A tournament, Sectional 40, Friday Night Lights.
And so this is the first time we've played Clarksville in, 2 years? Because I believe they dropped off our schedule last year.
They did become an independent conference.
Yes, so for many years, Clarksville was a member of the Mid-Southern Conference. They were Week 5 on the Salem schedule, but here recently they did drop off. That's when we picked up Springs Valley. But tonight we are back here to face the Generals in this first round of Sectional.
Yeah, and Brandon, I think we'll lead off talking about what Clarksville's got over here.
Go ahead. It's not a lot, but it's some.
Their head coach is Zach Tinsel. He is 1-18 in his second year, and this is his second year all-time coaching the Generals.
So normally you guys hear us, name some MX players, stuff like that from different schools. But so we didn't really have any information on Clarksville because they didn't have any stats posted online. So we don't have really any kind of indication of what they're going to do tonight.
No, and to fill that, when I get done, I'm going to go through some new rules that's in play for the tournament, but I will continue to carry on with Clarksville's season. They do not have a win this season. They went 0-9, so when I talk about their schedule, all of them are losses. They started out the season at Pike Central, shut out 35-0. Then they were at West Washington, shut out again, 0-39. Home against Charlestown, they put up 6 points, but they fell 6-35. At Providence, put up another 6 points, 6-45. Followed by home against Eastern Green, 16-36. Then Perry Central shut out again, 0-48. At Greenwood Christian, that's a long haul for Clarksville. At Greenwood Central, lost 14-51. Home against North Harrison, they lost 6-44. And then to round out the season last week was a tight game for them in a loss at Crawford County, 16-24. They have been outscored 64-356 this season. They average 7 points a game, and they give up an average of 40 points a game.
Yeah, so obviously coming into this game, I'm sure these Clarksville kids' spirits are kind of diminished. You go through a whole season, you get outscored 357-64. You're not going to feel too good when you go on the road against another team.
Yeah, and just looking out here, Brandon, they don't have a whole lot of players on their team. I've seen some 1A. I think West Washington being a 1A school, not saying anything bad about West Washington, but being a 1A school, they got double the players of this 2A school that Clarksville's got.
Yeah, and you look at their roster here in front of us, and it looks like they have probably 40, 45 players. But you look across that sideline over there, and it looks like there's about 25, 30 of them?
Yeah, there's not many. And then what's even worse is I can count on one hand the number of fans that's sitting in the stands for Clarksville. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 fans.
I don't know where you're from, but I don't have 8 fingers on one hand, Larry.
Well, hey, there's problems out there.
No, I get your point. But yeah, obviously it's been a tough season for the Generals, and tonight Salem looks to make that even more tough. Do you mind if I go ahead and get into the Salem guys?
Oh, go ahead.
So for Salem, obviously, if you guys have been tuning in, you know that Salem turned their season around after Week 6. Salem started out 1-5 on the year. Their one win was against North Harrison, and then they went on a 5-game losing streak at Silver Creek, at Scottsburg, home against Brownstown, at Springs Valley, and at Corden. Then Week 7 hit. They turned their season around. They beat Pekin 37-7, beat Charlestown 42-22, and then finished out the county championship against West Washington 34-7. Salem's currently averaging 20 points a game, but they're giving up 30 points a game. And we've been outscored on the year 270 to 80, or 180. But, looking back a few weeks ago, that outscore was drastically separated compared to what it is now.
Yeah, and what I can say to add on to that, starting out the season with that win against North Harrison's changed a lot as the season's progressed.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that. They finished out, the only other loss North Harrison had was against Brownstown, which is undefeated, which did end up winning the MSC. That's a good Brownstown team. It's a good North Harrison team.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
I will continue to say Silver Creek, I think that was kind of where their season flipped in the other direction.
Yeah,
they were really strong out the gate against Charlestown. I'll say the first half they kind of struggled against Salem, but the second half they performed well. But thereon, they really didn't surprise me this season. They only ended up with,
4-5.
Yeah, they ended up 4-5. That's a down season for Silver Creek.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Brownstown did win the conference last week with a victory against Scottsburg. At home against Scottsburg, they win that game 42-7. That gives them the conference championship once again. Salem did finish 5th in the conference. Eastern finished last in the conference. But tonight, what we've got in front of us is the Lions in their first sectional game tonight. And Coach Gleasing looks to get his first sectional win at Salem.
Yes, he does. The bracket, the way it is playing out, and we will keep you up to date on these games. Brownstown at Switzerland County. Pekin at
Paoli.
Eastern at Paoli. Tell City at Crawford County, and then of course Clarksville at Salem. Salem will be playing the winner of Crawford County, Tell City.
If they win tonight. If Salem wins tonight.
Yeah.
Yep. So another thing we'll talk about from Salem here so far is that my keys to victory is you've got to keep our minds right. We've seen some penalties this year on the Lions that we should not have had. Added 15 yards for the other team or something like that. We can't have that tonight. We got to make sure that we keep our minds right, focused. We don't want any objections tonight because that puts you out for next week as well. So obviously we want our whole team there next week.
Yeah. Play a clean game.
Yeah, absolutely. My second point is kind of the same thing we've had for the last 2 weeks is we've got to keep the offense rolling from the last 3 weeks just to see where, obviously put up as many points as we can, hopefully get our starters out, put the JV kids in, let them get a little sectional playing time, but also keep our starters safe.
Yeah, that's the key. Build a big lead, get your JV kids in, let them get some live reps. You can't replicate a game at practice. No matter how much you try, you cannot replicate a game at practice and keep the starters healthy.
Absolutely. And so my third point there is that we must capitalize on opportunities. Clarksville comes into this game 0-9. 0-9 teams don't ever not turn the ball over. So I'm guessing Clarksville's going to turn the ball over, and they have this season. We've got to capitalize on that and put points on the board.
Yeah, and what I can say about that is Salem has done very good the last 2 weeks home against Charlestown, home against West Washington. We have done an exceptional job at capitalizing off the opponent's mistakes.
Absolutely. And something you already mentioned, Zach, is tonight's a new season. New season essentially starts tonight. The Lions come to this game basically 0-0. Clarksville comes into this game basically 0-0 because up to this point, it doesn't matter what you've done in the previous part of the year. What you got to focus on is tonight.
Yeah, a short little story I can say to that. This was probably when we were in elementary school, so it's been a while back. But I believe it was Bloomington South. I think they won 1, maybe 2 games in the regular season. They ended up making it to the sectional championship.
Yeah, so obviously it doesn't matter what you've done up until this point because your record at this point has nothing to do with what's going to happen tonight or what's going to happen in the next upcoming weeks. So, you got to forget about, you can't use the excuse of, we did this season. You can't do that because tonight's a new season.
Yes, exactly.
My last key to victory here is we can't push this game to the side, and we've got to focus on tonight. So I'll tell a little bit story. So back in 2014, Clarksville started a 4-year losing streak. They didn't win a game for 4 years. The year before, that last game they played was Week 5, and if you guys have listened so far, you'll know who they were playing Week 5. Salem went down to Clarksville, turned the ball over 9 times, lost the game, and Clarksville did not win another game for 4.5 years. So with that being said, we can't push Clarksville aside tonight. We've got to focus on tonight's game, and then Monday start working about next week.
Yeah, I remember being at that game. Me and you were both ball boys for that team when we were in middle school, and I remember just being shocked whenever that happened.
Yeah, because Clarksville came into that game like 2-2, and they lost they win that game. They go 3-2, and they don't win a game for the next 4.5 years. So with that being said, coming into this game, you look at Clarksville, they're 0-9. On Max Preps, they're the 9th worst team in Indiana overall through all classes. They're the 3rd worst team in 2A, but you can't remember that. You can't think about that. You've got to just come in here, play your game, and take care of business like you're supposed to.
Yeah, and this will lead me into my keys to victory here, and I think there's some of them I'm going to reiterate, but we're on the same line. My first key to victory is we've got to keep the ground game strong. Over the last 2 weeks, we've had a combined over 700 rushing yards the last 2 weeks. It's hard to stop any high school ball team, and you can put up those kind of numbers.
Absolutely, yeah. And most of that will be one of my key players here, so we'll get to that after this.
And then my second key to victory here is spread the love. Let everybody get the ball. Last week, I think, has been the best Salem has spread the ball out all year. Deaton carried the ball way more than expected. He did very good carrying the ball. Dean carried the ball. He did very good. Dent carried the ball like we would expect. He did good. Everybody, there was the most, I think, Salem spread the ball out all year.
Yeah, and that's another point that I'm going to touch on whenever we get to my key players is how many people carried the ball last week.
And then my third key to victory here is keep the defense rolling, especially on the turnover aspect of it. We had 4 takeaways against Charlestown, 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. I believe all of those led to scores. Last week against West Washington, what was there, 2 fumbles?
Yes, 2 fumbles on back-to-back drives, actually.
Yeah, we scored off both of them. When you can take away a possession from a team and put points on, simple math says you'll win.
Yep, I agree there. Again, that's what we got talked about is you got to keep the offense rolling, and that starts with your defense and getting stops.
And then my last and final fourth key here is just like what you said, take it 1 week at a time. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. Take it tonight, and then take care of business tonight, then look towards next week. Don't be looking at next week because you never know what can happen in high school football.
Yeah, exactly. And, you see all the time, you see an upset in the state, and you just got to, as long as you play your game, that won't happen to you. As long as you don't turn the ball over, you play smart, and you worry about this game in front of you.
Yeah, and to go back off of what you said a few moments ago, a little note I have, Salem is 7-1 against Clarksville dating back to 2014.
Yeah, so again, in that 2014 loss was the last loss, or was the only loss, and that's when Clarksville started that 4-year losing streak. So my keys to players here for the Lions tonight is obviously, if you guys have paid attention this season or paid attention to what we're saying tonight, you're going to hear the name Logan Dent a lot. He's a sophomore running back for the Lions. He's number 4 on the field, and he is absolutely insane. He's currently averaging 133 yards a game. On the season, he's got 149 carries, 1,064 yards, and 13 touchdowns, by far the leading scorer and rusher for the Lions. Last week, we talked about sharing the love, but last week, Dent came out here, carried the ball 24 times for 164 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and, you see these stats. Don't get me wrong, it is good at any high school age. But then you look and you see sophomore beside his name.
Yeah, that kid has got a bright future ahead of him, and he's an absolute stud for the Lions. My second key to victory that Zach's already mentioned is Noah Deaton, number 6. He's a senior running back, averaging 39.1 yards per game. But I'll tell you, I do this stat every week, and that number continually climbs every single week. So for Noah on the year, he's got 49 carries, 313 yards, and a touchdown. That touchdown actually came. No, he's got 3 touchdowns now. That touchdown came, that first touchdown came 2 weeks ago. 2 of those touchdowns came last week. But one thing I want to talk about Noah Deaton after I talk about his last week's stats real quick. So last week he had 9 carries for 59 yards, a touchdown, and a receiving touchdown on a 15-yard pass from Mole to Noah in the end zone. But the most impressive thing to me is how hard he gets hit, and he has not fumbled this year.
Yeah, I'll say as the season's progressed, Deaton's been more and more incorporated in the running game, and you got to appreciate that. And then you got to appreciate how hard of a runner he is, and how he's not a very big guy,
no,
by any means, but he'll carry the ball hard, get hit hard, bounce right back up, and like you said, he does not turn the ball over.
No, and Noah comes on, he's on the roster listed at 5'6", 140 pounds, so he's not a big kid when he's getting hit by a middle linebacker, but he runs the ball constantly hard, never looks back, never is afraid of contact, so he's really impressive there for the Lions. My third impact player for the Lions is going to be number 1, Adam Moll, the senior quarterback. On the year, he's 33 for 64 passing, 481 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Now, that 4 interceptions, Zach, we talked about not turning the ball over. I didn't throw a whole lot of interceptions in my career, but 6 of the ones I threw were against Clarksville.
Really?
I threw 2 touchdowns a year, every year against Clarksville.
Really?
I don't know why, but I just did. So, that's something we got to look at. Because we can't turn the ball over, we were lucky enough that when I did throw those interceptions, it didn't really affect the game, but that can get a game out of hand pretty quick.
Yeah, anything like that in a high school game can affect a game quickly.
Absolutely. And for Adam, he's got 56 carries, 365 yards, and 4 touchdowns on the ground. So obviously the kid's carrying the ball as well as throwing the ball, so the Lions are loving to have him as a dual threat on the field. So my last impact player is going to be number 8, Braxton Dean, a junior wide receiver. He's got 22 carries for 74 yards on the year, and he has 20 run receptions, 332 yards, and a touchdown receiving on the year.
So we will, normally this is the point where we talk about the Clarksville impact players, but due to they don't have their max preps where we get our stats from updated, we felt like this is a good time to talk about some new rules incorporated in the sectional play.
Yep.
No banners or posters allowed, no battery-powered or electronic noisemakers, fireworks, recorded music, sirens, or whistles are allowed. No throwing of articles, including toilet tissue, baby powder, is not allowed. No live animal mascots are permitted anytime. The facility should be as neutral as possible without any enhancements to emphasize the home team. And I believe there's not to be any music during the game.
Yes, that is correct. I do know that is a true statement there of not having music. And before we got on the radio, they were talking about here in the booth about what we were going to do about the music.
Yeah, and then we will go ahead and announce the officials tonight. We did get a card from the officials on the officials tonight. The crew is out of the Mid-Hoosiers Officials Association. The head ref, the white hat, is Drake Galt. The umpire is Mike Walterman. The back judge is Kurt Schumann. The head linesman, Dale Brandt. And the line judge is Rodney Lee.
So some other notes that we've got in the local area here this weekend and going on is we'll talk about this, then we'll have so actually we're going to have the national anthem first, and we will be right back after this short break. back here at Jim Ralston Field tonight, where the Salem Lions are set to host the Clarksville Generals for this Sectional 40 Round 1 matchup. While Zach's paying attention to the coin toss here, I'm going to go over some other notes and stuff we've got going on this weekend. We've got Washington at number 13 IU on Saturday. That game is at noon. We have Purdue on a bye week this week, so no Purdue football for you fans out there. Tonight we've got U of L at Boston College. That game starts at 7:30. Zach and I will offer some updates throughout the game for that. Sunday, the Colts are at the Texans, Sunday at 1 p.m. Locally, we've got the Boo Bash 2024 at the Stevens Museum, Saturday, so tomorrow, October 26th at between 5 and 6:15 p.m. The Halloween parade is set to follow that in town, Saturday at 6:30. And just a reminder for you fans out there, the trick-or-treating for the city of Salem is Halloween night between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m., so get your kiddos out, get them dressed up, and take them out and get them some candy that you can steal from them, hopefully. So, Zach, what happened with the coin toss there?
Salem deferred to the second half.
So Salem will be kicking off here to start. We will have the defense set for the Lions to start. But I think, Zach, we've got left here some local games. So we've already talked about it. Pekin is at Paoli tonight. Providence is at Springs Valley. So you've got a wonderful matchup in round 1 of sectionals at Springs Valley tonight in 1A.
10 ranked teams.
Yep, 2 top 10 ranked teams in the state, but they're both Southern Indiana teams. West Washington is at South Decatur. Brownstown at Switzerland County. North Harrison at Corden Central. Scottsburg at Owen Valley, and Silver Creek at Connorsville. But for right now in front of us, the teams are getting set. The Lions are set to kick off. In the kick for the Lions is number 8, Braxton Dean. Back deep to receive for the Generals, that looks like number 15. That's going to be James Nunnery. He is a 5'6", 135-pound junior. He looks bigger than that in real life, I will say that. But there's the kick from Braxton. It's a low kick. It's going to bounce about the 25, be fielded at the 20, and it's going to be returned back across the field. He's running backwards, stiff arms a Lion, but is brought down by that Lion at the 20.5-yard line. So the Generals will start their drive 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line.
Yeah, Brandon, I'm going to be interested to watch the Clarksville offense tonight. I remember always seeing them and thinking they were kind of, I say this term loosely, like a street ball team.
Yeah.
There's like no real method to anything that they've done.
You know, it was just kind of get out there and almost backyard football.
Yeah, essentially.
They just kind of got out there and did what they wanted to do. So the Generals come to the line here. That's number 9, Jacob Corbett, in at quarterback. In gun formation is running back number 22, Brady Yates, on his right. 2 receivers out left, 2 receivers out right. There is the snap to Corbett. He hands it off to Yates up the middle, who breaks the tackle, bounces it out to the right, breaks another tackle, and he's off running around the right side, crosses the 30, and is brought down finally by number 12, Ethan Campbell, and number 7, Karis Moore for the Lions. But he does pick up 14 yards, and that is a big first down on the first play for the Generals.
Yeah, that was kind of a punch to the face, I should say, here, as that was a first down on the first play of the game, and then some.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good, hard run from the running back for Clarksville, and the Lions just couldn't get him stopped. So the Generals come back to the line here. 1st and 10 on their 34-yard line. Corbett in at quarterback. Yates on his left. 2 receivers out right. 1 receiver out. 2 receivers out left. And here is the snap to Corbett. He hands it up to Yates up the middle, and there's a flag on the field. It's going to be for a face mask. For the time, Yates did not pick up a yard, but they are going to get a few yards there from the face mask penalty.
That face mask right at the line.
So we're not sure what that ringing sound is.
Clarksville breaks the huddle. 10:59 left in the first quarter.
Clarksville comes to the line here. 1st and 5 on the 39-yard line. Corbett in the gun. There's the snap to Corbett, and it goes off his face mask, and he does jump on it. And the center snapped the ball before the quarterback was even ready for it. And that's going to be a loss of about about 9 yards for Clarksville, and that's going to set them up with 2nd and 14 on their own 30-yard line.
Yeah, from the body expression from the quarterback, he did not expect that ball when it came out.
No, he did not. He was sending his receiver in motion. The center snapped the ball and hit him right in the face mask. Luckily, he was able to fall on it. So it's going to be 2nd and 14 for the Generals now on their own 30. Generals come back to line. Corbett in gun with number 5, Josh Hall on his right. 1 receiver out right, 2 receivers out left. There's the snap to Corbett, and he rolls out to his left, and he gets a block. There's a flag on the play, but he has nowhere to go, so he's going to pick up 0 yards. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 14. Not really sure what the flag was for, but I think it's going to be on Clarksville. The flag came out quick, so it's a holding on the Generals. So the Lions will, let's see what they're going to do here. They decline the penalty smartly, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and 14 for the Generals now on their own 30-yard line.
9:55, 0-0, tied up Salem and Clarksville. 3rd and 14 for the Generals.
Generals come back to the line here. Corbett back in gun with Hall on his right, 2 receivers out right, 1 receiver out left. 3rd and 14, there's a snap to Corbett. He looks to throw. He has pressure. He's rolling out to his right. He doesn't have anywhere to go. He pitches it to his running back, who's running backwards. So he is across the 15, back to the 20, where he's brought down by Karis Moore. That was the weirdest play I think I've ever seen.
I don't know how to describe that.
So the quarterback ran about, what would you say, probably 20 yards backwards?
20 yards backwards, pitched it
threw a shovel pass 5 yards forward to his running back,
and the running back ran behind the quarterback.
Who then caught it, ran backwards towards the end zone, and then tried to pick up yardage, but he ended up losing about 7 more yards, 8 more yards. So it's going to bring up a 4th and 22 for the Generals, and they have their punt team on the field. Into punts, number 12, Sam Moreland. Back deep to receive for the Lions is Seth Ponsford. There's the snap. There's a flag on the play, and it is going to be, I believe, on the Generals here.
I don't know. Looking at Coach Gleason's body language, it might be on Salem.
It looks like Coach Mack's trying to tell him to move him back, but I'm not real sure. So he's telling Ponsford to scoot up. So it's a legal formation or a false start on the Generals. So now that's going to bring up a 4th and 27 for the Generals on their own 17-yard line. And the punter got kind of lucky because that wasn't a great punt.
No, it was not.
He kind of shanked it off the side of his foot. So let's see what he can do with this one. Again, that's number 12, Sam Moreland for the Generals into punt. Back deep is Seth Ponsford standing about the 50. Moreland on his own 4. There's the snap, and the punt is away. It's a much better punt. It's going to land about the 45, not really bounce anywhere. Seth's going to field it at the 47, fight it his way forward for a couple yards, and be brought down at the 44-yard line of the Generals. So the Lions are going to start their drive, 1st and 10 in positive yardage on the Generals' 44-yard line.
Yeah, Brandon, that punt, it ended up being down where the first down marker was for the Generals.
Yeah, so it's about a, 27-yard punt there?
Yeah, thereabout.
So the Lions are quickly to the line. Bull under center, Deaton and Dent in the backfield, a receiver on each side. 1st and 10 on the 44. There's the snap and the toss left to Dent. He's got a huge goal to run through, and he runs through it, breaks a couple tackles. He's still fighting for yardage, and he's brought down at the 25-yard line. So that's going to be a big 19-yard pickup there, Logan Dent, on his first run of the game. And that's going to give the Lions 1st and 10 on the Clarksville 25-yard line.
Yeah, you got to appreciate how hard Dent was running with that ball.
Yeah, he drug a Clarksville kid for about 4 yards there before he got brought down. So Lions back to the line, Mole under center, Deaton and Dent in the backfield, a receiver on either side here. 1st and 10 on the 25. There's the snap, and handoff to Deaton up the middle, who is brought down viciously about the 23-yard line. They're going to throw a flag for a face mask, I believe.
I would have to say so.
I think that's what it's for. Yep, face mask. So that might be a 15-yarder because he brought him down by his face mask. Nope, that's going to be a 5-yarder. So that's going to give 1st and 5 for the Lions on their. No, it's going to be 1st and 3, 1st and 2 for the Lions on their own 23-yard line. There's a snap to Mole. He tosses out right to Dent, and Dent finds a hole, runs through it, and he walks into the end zone for a 23-yard touchdown carry. No, 17-yard touchdown carry there for number 4, Logan Dent.
Bang, 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 bang! Vamonos, vamonos! Bang, bang, bang! Vamonos, vamonos!
So the Lions score quickly here with 8:31 to go. They currently lead 6-0, and they're on their field for the two-point conversion. Mole under center, Deaton and Dent in the backfield, Braxton Dean out wide right. Lenny Wing goes in motion. There's a snap toss to Dent, and he walks into the end zone. So the Lions take an early lead, 8-0 over the Clarksville Generals, and we will be back after a short commercial break.
Sprained ankle, swollen joints, and no time for an appointment? Schneck Medical Center has you covered. Visit our orthopedic walk-in clinic for expert care. Our specialists provide fast attention to a number of bone and joint problems. No appointment necessary. Available Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. For more information, visit schneckmed.org. Schneck, healthy together.
And we are back on 97.9 WSLM, the WSLM Sports Zone with Zach and Brandon. Tonight, the Lions' first sectional game against the Clarksville Generals at home on Jim Ralston Field. With 8:31 to go here in the first quarter, the Lions currently have the lead 8-0, and their kickoff team is in, and Braxton Dean is set for the kick. Back deep to receive for Clarksville is number 15, James Nunnery. And Braxton with the kick. It's a low kick. It's going to be landed about the 25. Be fielded by number 10 for the Generals, and he runs hard across the 30, across the 35, where he is brought down at the 36-yard line. So the Generals will start their second drive, 1st and 10 on their own 36-yard line.
Yeah, that was a good hard run there by number 10 for Clarksville.
He caught that off the bounce and was ready to run with it. He was ready to go score. So actually they're going to give him the 37. So the Generals will start 1st and 10 on their own 37-yard line. Line to gain is the 47 with 8:27 to go. The Lions currently lead the Generals 8-0 in the first quarter. Clarksville breaks the line, comes to the huddle. Number 9 still in at quarterback. That's Jacob Corbett with a running back on either side of him. There's the snap and handoff to number 5 who drops the ball. It cannot pick it up. It's picked up by Braxton Dean at the 20, and he walks into the end zone. So the Lions are going to take another lead in 13 seconds and score a defensive touchdown. That's number 8, Braxton Dean. So the Lions now currently have the lead 14-0.
That was a quick turnaround, Brandon. It looks like Salem's sending their PAT team out.
Got a new holder this week, I heard.
Yeah, Ethan Larimore.
Number 5, he's a freshman. He's in to hold the kick. And number 8, Braxton Dean, in to kick. The long snapper is number 3, Peyton Shockey. So Ethan's ready for the hold. Braxton's ready for the kick. And there's a flag on the play. I think Clarksville's got 12 men on the field. No. We have 12 men on the field. So let's take that back. Peyton Shockey is not going to be snapping. Okay, actually, I don't know what's happening. Okay, so Peyton Shockey will not be snapping. They sent him off the field. There was no actual flag, but there's the snap to Ethan, who it goes over his head, and Braxton runs back, fields it at the 30, runs around, and he's looking downfield to throw, and he's brought down by a General at the 24-yard line. So quickly the score is going to stay at 14-0, but the Salem defense puts points on the board for the second time this season. But we will be back after a short commercial break.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're good at insurance, but not just any insurance. We're good at...
No.
Did you forget the parking brake? Yes, you forgot the parking brake. Insurance. When the forecast calls for cheese ball size hail insurance. Even shouldn't have parked under that tree. Insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Call your Washington County Farm Bureau agent, Jason Petmeyer, at 812-620-8923.
Call your local Farm Bureau agent, Jason Petmeyer. Zach and I are the voice of the Salem Lions on the radio. Jason Petmeyer is the voice of the Salem Lions at the game. He is the announcer. But the Lions have taken the lead 14-0 over Clarksville with 8:18 to go in the first. And Braxton Dean kicks it off. It's a little pooch kick across the ground, and it goes out of bounds. Okay, so it was touched by a Clarksville player, so it is no flag there. But for those just tuning in, Lions did put points on the board with 8 minutes and 31 seconds to go. They took the lead 8-0. First offensive possession for Clarksville. They handed the ball to the running back. He took off with it and literally just dropped it and then refused to pick it up. Where number 8, Braxton Dean for the Lions, picked it up, ran it back 20 yards for the touchdown. So now Clarksville has 1st and 10 on their own 28-yard line with number 9, Corbett, in at quarterback. Number 22, the running back. There's the snap to Corbett. It's high and over his head. He fields it. He's rolling out to his right and throws it out of bounds. Smart play there by Corbett there for Clarksville to get rid of that ball, to not take a sack. So that's going to bring back a 2nd and 10 on their own 28-yard line.
I think there's been more fumbles for Clarksville than there has been successful plays already.
Yeah, they started the game with a great 14-yard pickup, and then it's been all downhill since then. So Corbett breaks his huddle, brings his team back to the line. Number 22, Brody Yates at running back on his right. Corbett in the gun. There's the snap, and Corbett hands it off to Yates, who drops the ball again, and it is recovered by the Lions at the 25-yard line. So that is going to be 1st and 10 for Salem on the Generals' 25-yard line. Zach, what do you have to say about that one?
They just don't, it's almost like they don't want to carry the ball. They hand it to him, the running back just drop it.
Yeah, he took the handoff and then just dropped it on the 25-yard line, and it was quickly recovered by the Lions. So now they have a 1st and 10 on Clarksville's 25. They come to line, Mole in gun with Dent on his left. 2 receivers, that's Lenny Wynn and Braxton Dean out left. There's a snap. Mole's going to keep it. He runs left, has a hole to run through, has some blockers, and he is brought down at the 6-yard line. So that's a big 19-yard pickup there for number 1, Adam Mole, and that's going to bring up a 1st down for the Lions on the Clarksville 6-yard line.
One game we will be watching close tonight is Crawford County and Tell City. Is the winner of this game will play the winner of that game.
Yep, and if the Lions do win tonight and Tell City wins tonight, the Lions are on the road to Tell City next week, I believe.
Yes, I believe so.
So Salem breaks the huddle, comes back to line, 1st and goal on the Clarksville 6. Mole in gun, Dent on his left, 2 receivers out right. And there's the snap to Mole. He drops back to throw, swings it out right to Lenny Wynn, who the pass was broke up on the 1-yard line. Great defensive play there by number 5, Josh Hall there for the Generals. So the intended pass from Mole to Lenny Wynn was broke up on the 1, so it's going to bring 2nd and goal on the 6-yard line for the Salem.
Salem's just really kind of see what they can get away with here in this game, dip into their playbook a little bit.
Yeah, which I think, you take advantage of games like this and do that. So the Braxton Dean brings the play in. Lions have a 14-0 lead with 7:27 to go in the first quarter. 2nd and goal on the Clarksville 6. Mole in gun, Dent on his right. There's a snap. He drops back to throw, throws a slant route to Braxton Dean in the end zone, and it is caught. It was a great throw from Mole to Braxton, and Braxton does catch it and puts 6 more points on the board. So the Lions now take the lead 20-0, and looks like the Lions are sending their PAT team back out again, Larry.
Yeah, let's give it a take 2 here.
Yeah, we might as well. I don't know if the snapper change caused something. They sent Peyton back out. So, again, his long snapper is Peyton Shockey. There's a snap to Ethan. He holds it up, and Braxton kicked it wide right. So it is going to be no good. But the Lions hold the lead 20-0 with 7:23 to go. We will take a short commercial break and be right back.
After a joint surgery, injury, or illness, Meadowview and Salem Crossing are the best choices for helping you recover. Our Moving Forward Rehabilitation Program offers a full range of therapies. We're here to help you return home safely with the skills you need to live life on your own terms. Meadowview and Salem Crossing, 2 great options for your rehabilitation. To learn more, visit asccare.com or call 888-996-8272.
And we are back here on 97.9 WSLM, where the Salem Lions currently have a lead over the Clarksville Generals, 20-0 with 7:23 to go in the first quarter, and the Lions kickoff team is set for the kick. Braxton Dean in the kick, back deep to receive is number 5, Josh Hall. The refs give the signal to Braxton, and there's the kick. It's a kick across the ground, fielded at not fielded, actually fielded by the Lions at the 35-yard line. So the Lions are going to take over 1st and 10 on the Clarksville 35-yard line. That kickoff was recovered by number 34, freshman Corbin Boyles for the Lions, and it was just a kick across the ground. The Clarksville kid didn't really even try to pick it up. He just kind of tried to lay on top of it and just missed the ball.
Yeah, that was some good hustle by Corbin Boyles out there on the kickoff team.
Yeah, he got down there quick and pounced on the ball. So the Lions are 1st and 10 on the 35 of Clarksville. Mole in gun, Dent on the right of him, 2 receivers outright. There's no Deaton in motion. There's a snap, fake handoff to Deaton. Mole launches it deep to number 32, Seth Ponsford, and it's caught at the 5-yard line, and he walks into the end zone. Great throw from Adam Mole to Seth Ponsford. So the Lions strike in one play and take a 26-0 lead with 7:13 to go here in the first quarter, and they're sending their PAT team back out again.
You might as well get some live reps at it.
I mean, you always hear the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Do we consider this broke yet or no?
I don't know.
Let's see what happens here. So Ethan Larimore in for the hold, Peyton Shockey in for the snap, and snap is back, kick is up, and that one looks good. And the kick is good from number 8, Braxton Dean. So the Lions take a 27-0 lead, and we will be back after a commercial break.
Reuben Johnson Scott here to tell you that American Family Insurance is committed to protecting your dream home so that your family has a place to share laughs, celebrations, and milestones, which is why their new homeowner discount rewards customers who have purchased a new home in the last 3 years with a discount on their homeowner's policy. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Contact Rodney Bruff, agent at Rodney S. Bruff Agency Incorporated at 812-277-1400 today.
Discount and savings amounts and eligibility will vary. Some restrictions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin. Products not available in every state.
And we are back here at 97.9 WSLM at Jim Ralston Field, where the Lions currently hold the lead over the Generals, 27-0, with 7:13 to go in the first quarter. And the Lions kickoff team is set for the kick. Braxton Dean again in for the kick, and Braxton runs up, gives it his best boot, and it's a little pooch kick to the 30. It's fielded and immediately falls to the ground, and so the Generals are going to take over 1st and 10 on their own 30-yard line, and let's see if they can hold on to the ball here for more than 4 plays, Zach.
Yeah, Brandon, quick score update I got for you. Paoli has struck and put 8 points on the board on Eastern.
Okay.
7-12 here in the first quarter. Clarksville is getting in the huddle. Salem up 27-0 over the Generals. The Generals have a 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line.
So the Generals break that huddle and come to the line. Again, Corbett in at quarterback. That's Yates in at tailback on his left. 3 receivers outright. There's a snap, Corbett, and it's a quick screen pass to number 5, Hall, and it's caught, but immediately dropped by Peyton Shockey, so that's going to be a 5-yard loss on the pitch and catch from Corbett to Hall. Great defensive play there from Peyton Shockey to immediately tackle the receiver as soon as he caught the ball.
Yeah, Clarksville's currently at negative 12 passing yards.
Yeah, because I guess that one did count as a pass.
Mm-hmm.
They only lost 7 yards there?
Yeah.
A lot. You know, that was kind of impressive from that kid to turn that only into a 7-yard loss. So Corbett back to the line, Yates behind him, 2 receivers out right, 2 receivers out left. There's the snap, and he hands it off to Yates up the middle, who finds a little bit of room to run, but not a whole lot. He only picks up about 1.5 yards. So it's going to be a yard pickup for Clarksville there. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 14 for the Generals on their own 26-yard line.
.09 left in the first quarter, Salem up 27-0.
Clarksville breaks the huddle and comes back to the line here. Corbett's getting his receivers set. 3 receivers out left, 1 receiver out right. Corbett in gun with Yates behind him on his left. And that's going to be a stop in the play, and that's going to be a timeout for Clarksville. And we are going to take a short commercial break, and we will be right back.
This Shakaroni is back. Get the extra cheesy, extra pepperoni pizza with extra large slices only from Papa John's. A pizza so big, you're going to have to share it. We're talking 8 boldy, shacky, stacky slices. It all starts with Papa John's fresh, never frozen original dough, and stretched into an extra large pizza. And it's topped with extra cheese and extra pepperoni for that ooey gooey, peppy, pleasy taste. Order one today online or with your Papa John's app, or call the Salem location at 812-883-3369. Each Chacaroni pizza is $12.99. Remember, better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Better get you some Papa John's today by calling Reese at the Salem store at 812-883-3369.
And we are back here at Jim Ralston Field on 97.9 WSLM, the WSLM Sports Zone. Zach and Brandon have the call tonight, where the Lions currently lead the Clarksville Generals 27-0 at home tonight. The Generals have a 3rd and 14 on their own 26-yard line. They are back to the line, 3 receivers out left, 1 receiver to the wide right, Corbett in gun with Yates behind him. There's a snap. Corbett rolls out to his left. He's got a receiver, and he hits him at the 35, and he does run across the first down marker, crosses the 45-yard line, and is brought down at the 46. So it was a 20-yard pitch and catch there for Clarksville. But there's a flag on the play. And what's the flag for here? Zach, did you see what the flag was for?
I did not see it.
It was a holding on the Generals, so that's going to bring them back 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So unfortunately, when Clarksville seems to go 20 yards forward, somehow they go 10 yards backwards from the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be a 10-yard penalty, so that's going to bring up 3rd and 24 now for the Generals on their own 16-yard line.
I have another score update for you. Paoli has scored again on Eastern, up 14-0. Providence is up 7-0 on Springs Valley.
It's going to be a good game over there at French Lake tonight against that Providence Springs Valley game. That's going to be a good one. So Clarksville comes to the line in 3rd and 26 on their own 16. Corbett in gun with Yates behind him. There's the snap. Corbett drops back, launches it deep down the field, and it's intercepted by Peyton Shockey at the 36-yard line. So the Generals turn the ball over for a 4th time tonight in 5 drives, and the Lions have a 1st and 10 on the Clarksville 36-yard line.
Yeah, Brandon, we talked about it in the pregame show. Turnovers is a big thing, and nothing seeming to go right for Clarksville tonight.
You know, you don't go 0-9 on the year and not turn the ball over. So I did mention that about you got to capitalize off those opportunities. And so far, the Lions have scored on every possession they've had the ball. So they look to take to extend their lead over 30 points here. So they come to the line, 1st and 10 on the Clarksville 36. Mole under center, Deaton and Dent in the backfield. Receiver out wide left. Lenny Wynn in motion. There's a snap, toss out right to Dent. And he finds a hole, but is brought down from behind. There's a flag on the play. I think that might be a holding on... Yeah, it's going to be a holding on Lions. That was an unfortunate penalty, an untimely penalty for the Lions there. So that's going to bring up a 1st and 20 for the Lions. So the Lions will now have it 1st and 20 on the 36-yard line, or 46-yard line of the Generals.
5:17 in the first quarter. Salem up 27-0 on the Generals.
So it's 1st and 16 on the 42 for the Lions. Mole in gun, Dent on his right. There's a snap to Mole. He's going to hand it off to Deaton around the right side, who's got a ton of running room. He's across the 40, across the 35, and is brought down right around the first down marker. And let's see if they're going to give it to him. They're giving it to him, so it was a 16-yard first down pickup on the run from number 6, Noah Deaton. That's going to set the Lions up 1st and 10 on the 26-yard line.
Yeah, that was that was a good hard run by Deaton there. You know, we talked about him in the pregame show. He runs hard.
Absolutely. You know, every time he gets the ball, no matter what the score is, no matter how much time's left, no matter whatever, he's going to run the ball as hard as he can every single time he touches it. So the Lions back to line, Mole under center with Deaton, the lone back in the backfield. Braxton Dean wide out left. Dent in motion. There's a snap toss out left to Dent, who gets around the end. He has a lead blocker in Deaton, and Dent runs into the end zone by himself, so he gets a 26-yard pickup. And one thing I noticed on that play, Zach, is the corner for Clarksville was standing out of bounds, not moving.
Yeah, now that you say that, it was a white jersey.
He just kind of blocked to the sideline, but then just stood on the sideline and didn't try to get back in the play. So he was looking over into like the road and was not paying attention to the game. So Braxton Dean is in for the PAT. Ethan Larimore in for the hold. Peyton Shockey in for the snap. And there is the snap. Ethan Holt puts it down. Braxton kicks up. It's blocked by a general. So it's going to be no good. So the Lions' lead now is 33-0 with 4 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the first quarter. And Zach and I will be back after a short commercial break.
Congress is poised to pass a bill to keep AM radio in cars, but time is running out. 82 million Americans risk losing the news, sports, talk, traffic, and vital emergency information they rely on. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to pass this bill now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
And we are back here at Jim Ralston Field on 97.9 WSLM, where the Salem Lions have taken a 33-0 lead over the Clarksville Generals tonight in round 1 of Sectional 40. Zach, do you have any more score updates from around the area?
No, I do not. Paoli still up 14-0 on Eastern. Providence up 7-0 on Springs Valley. Silver Creek scored against Connorsville 7-0.
All right, so there's the kick from Braxton. Bounces about the 35. It's fielded by a general, and we're actually going to see a return on this one, but not much of one. And he is dropped at the 29-yard line. Picks up about 4 yards on the return. So the Generals will take over 1st and 10 on their own 29-yard line.
Yeah, it's worth noting that Dent already has 61 yards rushing, 3 attempts, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, the Lions have not had more than 40 yards to go here tonight, starting their drive. Now, they did get a penalty, which set them back, but that ended up not mattering as they scored, I think, either the next play or the play after. So Clarksville comes back to the line. Corbett in gun, Yates on his right, 3 receivers out right, 1 receiver out left, 1st and 10 on the 29, and there's the snap. Corbett rolls out to his right, looking to throw, and he is going to throw it to the ground. His intended receiver was number 40, Keyshawn Muckle for Clarksville.
I don't know if you've noticed this, Brandon. Salem has subbed in on defense some of their second-team players.
Yep, I see 2 I see right there are for the Lions is number 10, Braden Walters, and number 5, Ethan Larimore. We also see Waylon Foster out here at corner. And I think that's number 23, DJ Ward, out there on the corner on the far side of the field.
I don't know that I've seen a second team go in with 4 minutes left in the first quarter before.
Nope. So Clarksville comes back to the line. Corbett in gun, Yates behind him, 2 receivers out right. That's a receiver in motion from the right to the left. There's the snap. It's a high snap to Corbett. He's going to keep it himself and run into a brick wall, that being Braxton Dean and Jacob Metz. So it's going to be a gain of none. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 again, 3rd and 10. No, they're going to give him a yard. So he's going to pick up 1 yard. So it's going to be 3rd and 9 for Clarksville now. And the Lions have now subbed in number 65, Noah Links, for the Lions, and have subbed out Braxton Dean.
It was another high snap to the quarterback.
I'll tell you what, this Clarksville team's just not very disciplined.
That's kind of what I've always remembered.
Yeah, they look like they don't want to be here as they take their second time out of the first quarter. So we will be back after a short commercial break.
Drew and Johnson Scott here to tell you that American Family Insurance is committed to protecting your dream home so that your family has a place to share laughs, celebrations, and milestones, which is why their new homeowner discount rewards customers who have purchased a new home in the last 3 years with a discount on their homeowner's policy. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Contact Rodney Bruff, agent at Rodney S. Bruff Agency Incorporated at 812-277-1400 today.
Discount and savings amounts and eligibility will vary. Some restrictions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6,000 American Qualified Madison, Wisconsin. Products not available in every state.
So we do not have a score update from West Washington currently, but we do have a game start update as that game has just now kicked off. It is currently 7:30, so they have just now kicked off. Must have a 7:30 start time over at South Decatur, so we will update that accordingly. Zach, have you found anything else other than what we already had?
Nope, I still have the same scores that I had earlier.
All right, well, here at Salem tonight on Jim Ralston Field, the Lions currently lead the Clarksville Generals 33-0 with 3:29 to go in the first quarter. Clarksville has a 3rd and 9 on their own 30-yard line. Corbett is in at gun with Yates on his right, 3 receivers out right, 1 receiver out left. And there is the snap to Corbett. He drops back to throw, swings it out wide right to Keyshawn Muckle, who drops it. There's a flag on the play. I'm not sure what that's for, but for the moment it's going to be a no completion, no gain for Clarksville. That's got to be on the secondary, right?
They threw it right in the direction of where the intended receiver was.
Maybe a push-off? So the refs have gotten together to figure out their call here. I don't know if it was maybe a holding on the Lions secondary or
I don't know.
So there's an ineligible man downfield. That penalty is going to be declined, so that's going to bring up a 4th and 9 for the Lions. So it was ineligible man downfield on Clarksville. Currently, it looks like the penalties are 5 for Clarksville, 2 for Salem.
It's just been kind of an undisciplined game, period.
Yes. So Clarksville has it 4th and 9 on their own 30-yard line. That is number 12, Sam Moreland, in for the punt. Back deep to receive is Seth Ponsford for the Lions. He stands about his own 35.
There's a late player running on the field for the punt team, Clarksville.
Yep. So he's ready. There's the snap, and Moreland's kick is away. It's a low kick, but it's going to be fielded by Seth Ponsford at 45. He runs through, breaks a couple tackles. He's got some blocking, and I think he's going to go all the way. He's across the 20, across the 15, across the 10, across the 5, and Seth Ponsford walks into the end zone. That is going to be a punt return for the Lions, their first special team score of the year. So it's going to be about a 45-yard punt return for the Lions. And now we do have a ref down on the field on a knee. He is okay, it looks like.
Yeah, it looked like he kind of got blindsided a little bit.
Yep. So the Lions now have extended their lead 39-0 after the 55-yard punt return for number 32, Seth Ponsford. And the Lions PAT team, their JV offense?
Yeah, that looks like the JV offense.
So in at quarterback for the Lions now is number 24, Bladen Henderson. He brings his team to line. Corbin Boyle's in the backfield along with DJ Ward. And there is the snap to Henderson under center. There's the snap, and it's going to be tossed left to Ward, and he is going to be stopped short of the goal line. So it is going to be a no-good two-point conversion. So the Lions' lead is going to stay at 39-0 with 3:08 here to go in the first quarter. Zach and I are going to take a commercial break, and we will be right back.
Sprained ankle, swollen joints, and no time for an appointment? Schneck Medical Center has you covered. Visit our orthopedic walk-in clinic for expert care. Our specialists provide fast attention to a number of bone and joint problems. No appointment necessary. Available Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. For more information, visit schneckmed.org. Schneck, healthy together.
And we are back here at Jim Ralston Field, where the Lions have now extended their lead to 39-0 with 3:08 to go here in the first quarter. For all of you fans out there listening, the running clock rule that the IHSA set a few years ago is a 35-point lead, but that must be in the second quarter, or second half, so we will not have a running clock until the second half. But in for the Lions to kick is number 8, Braxton Dean. Back deep is number 15, James Nunnery. There's the kick from Braxton, and it's going to land about the 35, be fielded about the 30, and returned across the 35, and where he is brought down at the 39-yard line. On the return for Clarksville was number 10, Lachlan Wacker. So Clarksville is going to come out to get their, sixth drive started?
Something like that.
Sixth drive started. Now, one piece of advice, or thing to note is Clarksville did not turn the ball over last drive. They did punt.
That's the second drive of the whole game. They haven't turned it over.
Yep, they have 6 drives. Well, now starting their 6th drive. I think no, that was their 6th drive. 4 turnovers and 2 punts. So they come back to line here, 1st and 10 on their own 39. Corbett in pistol with Yates lined up behind him. 2 receivers out right, 2 receivers out left. There's the snap. Corbett's going to hand it off to Yates up the middle, and he's going to find a little bit of running room, and he's going to cross the 40, and before he's brought down about the 44-yard line, so it's going to be a 5-yard pickup there for Yates and the Generals. It's going to bring up 2nd and 5 here with 2:45 to go. Lions lead 39-0.
And Salem has their second-team defense playing, giving the starters a rest while they're up 39-0.
So the Generals come to line, 2nd and 5. There's a snap to Corbett. He hands it off to Yates, and he finds a little bit of a hole. He's fighting his way forward. He's going to make his way down to the 50 where they're going to blow it dead. He's going to get a 6-yard pickup and gives it Clarksville their second first down of the game. Nice run there from number 22, Brody Yates, for the Generals.
2:20 left in the first quarter. Lions are up 39-0. Clarksville in the huddle, getting the play call in.
So the Generals come back to line, 1st and 10 on the 50. That is Corbett in at quarterback in pistol formation with Yates lined up behind him. 2 receivers out left, 2 receivers out right. And there's a flag on Clarksville, and it's a false start on the Generals, so that's going to set them back 5 yards. So that's going to be 1st and 15 for the Generals now. Zach, did you really see what happened there?
There's just like a little flinch from the offensive line.
I gotcha. So Clarksville back in the huddle. They break the huddle and come back to line. Again, 1st and 15 on their own 45 now. Corbin in a pistol. Yates lined up behind him. Receiver outright. And there's another false. Nope. Okay. There's a snap to Corbett. He hands it off to Yates up the middle. And he is brought down after a 1-yard pickup, 2-yard pickup. So they're going to give him 2. So it's going to be 2nd and 13 now for the Generals on their own 47-yard line. So the Generals now have a 2nd and 13 with 1 minute and 8 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Lions lead 39-0. Corbett lines up in pistol formation, 3 receivers out left, 1 receiver out right. Yates lined up behind Corbett. There's a snap. He rolls out left looking to throw, and he's going to throw it to Muckler, who's going to catch it at the line of scrimmage, fight his way forward for about 12 yards there, but there's a flag on the play, and it's going to be, I think, a holding on Clarksville. No, face mask on the Lions. So that happened away from the play. So the play currently is going to stand, and it's going to be an additional 5 yards, so that's going to give the Generals another first down. Their offense is moving the ball well right now. So it's going to bring up 1st and 10 for the Generals on the Lions' 38-yard line. And this is going to be their first play in positive territory of the night. Clarksville back to the line. Corbett in pistol with Yates lined up behind him. 2 receivers out left, 2 receivers out right. There's a snap, and he hands it off to Yates up the middle, who finds a little bit of a hole to run through. He does get pushed back, and the Lions have the ball, but I think they're marking him down. So it's going to be about a 5-yard pickup there, 4-yard pickup there for Brody Yates. So that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. Might have been the longest first quarter in high school history. So it's going to be, at the end of the first quarter, the Lions are going to have the lead 39-0, and we will be back after a commercial break.
This is Becky White from WSLM, and I'm here at the beautiful John Jones showroom in Salem, Indiana for the John Jones Auto Minute.
Are you ready for a touchdown of savings? It's football season, and we're kicking off the biggest sale of the year at John Jones Auto Group. Whether you're tailgating or heading to the big game, we've got the perfect ride for you. From sporty SUVs to family-friendly minivans, every vehicle is priced to win. Plus, enjoy unbeatable trade-in deals, 0% financing, and available service contracts that keep you covered long after the final whistle. So why wait? Gear up for greatness with John Jones Auto Group. We're your winning team for the best cars and deals around. Visit us today at one of our 4 convenient locations Salem, Scottsburg, Greenville, or Corden, or check us out online at johnjonesautogroup.com. And remember, John Jones Auto Group, you see so many because they paid so little. John Jones supports our Salem Lions. Good luck tonight, and go team.
The City of Salem Park and Recreation Department is planning Biddy Ball, basketball, and winter leagues for the coming month. Sign-ups will be at the Park and Rec office in Salem City Hall through October the 31st. For additional information, contact Tom Foltz at 812-883-2895 or stop by the office in City Hall.
And we are back here at the start of the second quarter after a long 42-minute first quarter. The Lions lead 39-0 over the Generals. The Generals have the ball 2nd and 6 on the Lions' 34-yard line. There's a snap to Corbett. He hands off to Yates. Finds a little bit of a hole, but it closes very quickly. He does pick up a yard, so it's going to be a 3rd and 5 for Clarksville. That was their second offensive play in the Lions' territory of the night.
Yeah, like we said earlier, Salem has our second team defense out with this 39-0 lead.
And there is a injured general down on the field. That is number 22, Brody Yates for Clarksville. And you hate to see that because that's been kind of their power of their offense tonight.
Yeah, it has. I was kind of watching. He was kind of slow to get up off the field, and he kind of got up, went to the huddle, and just dropped down again.
So we're going to step aside for commercial break while they get him taken care of, and we will be back once he has been taken off the field.
Let's get on our feet and give a big hand to the starting lineup at McDonald's here in Salem. The quarter pounder is coming on the field. Filet of fish and those golden delicious fries are warming up on the sideline. And now for the feature star of the night, the Big Mac. You'll score every time with a hot, fresh meal from McDonald's in Salem, whether you're there for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Take a time out and stop by before or after the big game to check out their all-day breakfast menu or value menu. Download the McDonald's app and you can get great deals on delicious tastes all day long. You'll score every time with the wife and kids when you make a touchdown at the Golden Arches right here in Salem. And don't forget McDonald's.
So Clarksville back to the line here, 3rd and 5. There's a snap to Corbett. He rolls out right, and he's looking downfield to throw, and he doesn't have anywhere to throw it, doesn't have anywhere to run it, and he's going to toss it out of bounds to his sideline. Unfortunately for him, those players are not in play. So that's going to bring up a 4th and 5 for Clarksville on the Lions' 33-yard line.
Yeah, but prior to that injury, which he limped off under his own power, in the first quarter, Clarksville had 26 total rushing yards and 2 total passing yards.
So some score updates is 22-0. Paoli has the lead over Pekin, and Providence still has their lead over Spring Valley, 7-0. 6. There's the snap to Corbett. He rolls out to the right, 4th and 5, and he's going to toss it to his receiver. That's number 5, Josh Hall on the sideline, who catches it at about the 25-yard line. So that's going to be another first down on the 8-yard pitching catch for Corbett to Hall. So that's going to bring up a 1st and 10 for Clarksville on the 26. So it was a 7-yard pitching catch. So Clarksville now has 3 first downs on this drive. Another score update is West Washington has the lead over South Decatur, 6-0. So Clarksville comes back to the line. Corbett in pistol with Hall lined up behind him. 2 receivers out left, 1 receiver out right. There's the snap to Corbett. He hands it off to Hall, who gets tripped up at the line, does fall forward for a yard. So it's going to be a 1-yard pickup there for number 5, Josh Hall, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 9 for the Generals.
Another score update, Tell City just scored on Crawford County, 7-0.
Now, there was a late game start on that one. I do know that. That was 7:30 start time for ours, yes. It was a 7:30 Eastern start time for Tell City, a 6:30 start time their time. So Tell City now has extended their lead to 14-0.
That is a game we'll be watching close, as the winner of this game will play the winner of that game.
Clarksville back to the line, 3 receivers out right, left. Corbett drops back to throw. He doesn't have anywhere to throw it, and he's going to toss it to number 40, Muckle, on the sideline, about the 20-yard line, breaks a couple tackles, fights his way forward for another 6 yards after the catch, 5 yards. So that's going to bring up a first down for Clarksville at the 15-yard line. So Clarksville looks to shorten this lead here as they have picked up now their 4th first down of the drive. That was about a 10-yard pitch and catch there from Corbett to number 40, Keyshawn Muckle. He is a freshman, 5'8", 200 pounds, big kid.
That was just a very slow developing play.
Yep. So the Generals break the huddle, come back to the line. Corbett with Hall on his left, 2 receivers out left, 1 receiver out right. There's the snap. It's across the ground, and Corbett just falls on it at the 19-yard line. So it's going to be a 4-yard loss for the Generals. So that's going to bring up a 2nd and 14 for the Generals. And I'll tell you what, we've seen a lot of snap exchange problems tonight for them.
Yeah, I'd say that is probably the number one problem they have had. That and the running back just kind of dropping the ball.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we can't forget about the 2 running backs just putting the ball on the ground. So the Generals break the huddle. They come to the line, 3 receivers out right, 1 receiver out left. Corbett with number 10, Lachlan Wacker on his right. There's the snap. Corbett drops back, and he's rolling out to his right to throw, and he is still looking, has nowhere to throw it, kind of tosses it to in the direction of Keyshawn Muckle, but it was too high, and it fell incomplete. And Corbett took a big hit over there on the sideline.
Yeah, he did. He was kind of grabbing his shoulder a little bit.
Yeah, he took a big hit there. So the Generals now have a 3rd and 14 on the Lions' 19-yard line. 8:54 to go here in the second. The Lions have the lead, 39-0.
This is just a very slow developing game.
Yes. The first quarter took 42 minutes.
And there's 8:54 remaining in the second.
Yep. So Corbett comes back to the line, 3 receivers out right, 1 receiver out left. There's the snap. Corbett drops back to throw, and he has some pressure, but he steps up, absorbs it, and he still breaks a couple tackles, still fighting for yards, but he did not end up getting anywhere. So he loses about 2 yards there on the sack. So that's going to bring up a 4th and 16 now for the Generals.
8:30 in the second quarter, 39-0 Salem. The quarterback is going to get the play call from the coach. Their coach is Zach Hensel. He is 1-18 in his second year. This is his second year coaching all time.
That win did come last year as they are 0-9 on the year right now. So Clarksville comes back to the line. Corbett in gun with number 10, Wacker on his left. There's a snap. It's a high snap to Corbett. He heaves one deep into the end zone, and the receiver and the DB, Waylon Foster, just kind of tied up feet, and the receiver tripped. So that's going to be a turnover on downs for Clarksville on the 21-yard line. So now the Lions will take over 1st and 10 on their own 21 with 7:59 here to go in the second quarter. We're not going to take a commercial break because the Lions are already in the huddle getting the play. So they will be quickly back to the line here. It is worth noting that the varsity offense is still on the field. Ball comes out in gun with Dent on his left, a receiver on either side. Braxton Dean comes in at the Noah Deaton comes in at the up back. And there's the snap to Mole. And the handoff to Dent around the right side. He bounces it wide out right. Gets a block from Lenny Wynn on the sideline. Dent is brought down after trying to stiff arm the DB there. But he is brought down after about a 6-yard pickup down to the Lions' 27-yard line. So that's going to bring up a 2nd and 4 for the Lions on their own 27-yard line.
Brandon, I have another score update for you. Providence is up 14-0 on Springs Valley.
Well, so that game, obviously, it's still going to stay close, I would assume, but Providence is a good football team this year.
Yeah, they are.
Lions come back to the line, 2nd and 6 on their own 27. There's the snap, and Mole pops it out left to Dent, who finds a huge hole to run through, and he does run forward and crosses the 35 and is brought down at the 40, so it's going to be a 13-yard pickup there for number 4, Logan Dent, and that's going to set the Lions up 1st and 10 on their own 40-yard line.
Yeah, 7 minutes left here in the second quarter. 39-0 Salem over the Generals. This is just a slow-tempo game. That's all you can say about it.
It is. I think both teams are trying to get the run clock down as much as they can. So the Lions break the huddle, come back to the line here. Mole under center, Deaton and Dent in the backfield. And there's the snap and the handoff to Dent. The play is blown dead. There's a flag, and it's a false start on the Lions. So that's going to bring up a 1st and 15 for the Lions on their own 35. It's going to send them back 5 yards there. Now's not really a time you want to start getting penalties.
No, it is not.
6:49 here to go in the second quarter. Lions lead 39-0.
Salem has 21 yards in penalties on 4 of them. There is 6 penalties on Clarksville for 25 yards.
Well, under center, Deaton and Dent in the backfield. There's the snap, and he hands it off to Dent on the right side. He bounces it wide out right, and he's still running down the right sideline, and he's brought down from behind by a general, but before he crosses back over the original line scrimmage, plus 6 yards. So it's going to be a 11-yard pickup there down to the 46-yard line for Logan Dent, and the Lions now have a 2nd and 4 on their own 46.
Yeah, I would imagine Salem's probably just going to keep pounding the ball on the ground, take some time off.
Yeah, I wouldn't think they'd be throwing it or anything here. Ball comes out under center, Deaton and Dent in the backfield, a receiver on each side. There's a snap, and he hands it off to Deaton up the middle, who finds a hole, runs through it, and bounces out right, gets hit hard, but that never phases him. So that's going to be a pickup of about 4 plus 7, about 11-yard pickup there for Noah Deaton. So that's going to bring up the 1st and 10 for the Lions, now on the Clarksville side of the field at the 43-yard line. And they're already quickly back in the huddle with Braxton Dean bringing out the play.
I don't know if you've noticed this, Brandon, but Clarksville's just tackling really extremely high.
Yes, yeah.
It's like at the top of the shoulder pads.
Yep. Mole back under center with Deaton in the lone back, Lenny Wynn in motion. There's a snap, toss out left to Lenny Wynn. He's around the left side, has a lot of running room, and he crosses the 25 and is swung out of bounds by a general, but not before he picks up about 20 yards down to the 23-yard line. So that's going to bring up another 1st down for the Lions on a 20-yard pickup on the toss play to number 14, Lenny Wynn.
Yeah, Salem, they're doing pretty much what they want on the ground tonight. Already 161 yards in the first half.
In the first quarter and a half, too. Yeah. We still got 5:40 to go here in the second quarter. Lions still have their lead 39-0. And they come back to the line here. Mole in gun, Dent on his left, a receiver on either side. There's a snap and a handoff to Dent. Mole's going to keep it and be brought down at the original line of scrimmage. So it's going to be a 0-yard pickup there for number 1, Adam Mole. And it looks like it's a 1-yard loss for Adam Mole. And it looked like an option play, Zach, and we both ran the option. What do you think? Do you think he read that right, or do you think he should have handed it off?
I think it was a little delayed on the read, if you ask me. Yeah, me and you, we both have a lot of experience in that option offense.
Absolutely. Looked like from here, based on the way it looked like Logan Dent had a lot of running room. Mole kind of got wrapped up. They are going to give him the original line of scrimmage, so it's going to be a 0-yard play there. Mole back in gun, Dent on his right. There's the snap, and Mole's going to hand off to Dent on the left side, who runs through a gap. There's a flag on the play. So for the current time being, it's going to be a 6-yard pickup for the Lions, but it's a holding on the Lions. So now that's going to make a 2nd and 10 become a 2nd and 20. So that's going to set them back to the 33-yard line of the Generals here.
This has been a dirty game. There's already been 11 penalties tonight between both teams.
We got 4:39 to go here in the... Okay, so that's going to be the 34-yard line. So it's going to be 2nd and 21 for the Lions now. Ball is under center with Deaton and Dent in the backfield. There's a snap, toss out right to Dent. He has some blocking, runs through a gap, and it's tripped up about the 26-yard line? 27-yard line. So they're going to even about 7 yards there on the play. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 14 now for the Lions on the Clarksville 27-yard line.
The play is coming in from Braxton Dean. Huddle is broken.
3:55 to go here in the second. Lions lead 39-0. Ball in gun, Dent on his left, a receiver out right. There's the snap, and Mole looks back to throw, and he throws it deep to Braxton Dean in the end zone, and it is a well-thrown ball into the front court in the end zone, and caught by number 8, Braxton Dean. So the Lions now add 6 more points to the score and take a 45-0 lead over Clarksville with 3:41 to go here in the second quarter. And the Lions JV offense has came back out for the 2-point conversion here. With, I think that's going to be Ethan Campbell in at quarterback. Is that correct, Zach?
I'm trying to, yes, it is. Ethan Campbell at quarterback.
Yep, Ethan Campbell back at quarterback.
We did see a bunch of him in week 2
and
3.
So Ethan brings his team to line. Corbin Boyle's in the backfield along with DJ Ward for the 2-point conversion. There's the snap and the toss out right to Ward, who walks into the end zone almost untouched. So the Lions add 2 more to their lead, and they take a 47-0 lead over Clarksville with 3:41 to go in the second quarter. And we're going to step aside, take a short commercial break, and we will be right back.
Sprained ankle, swollen joints, and no time for an appointment? Schneck Medical Center has you covered. Visit our orthopedic walk-in clinic for expert care. Our specialists provide fast attention to a number of bone and joint problems. No appointment necessary. Available Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. For more information, visit schneckmed.org. Schneck, healthy together.
And we are back here at Jim Ralston Field, where the Lions have now extended their lead at home over the Clarksville Generals, 47-0, with 3 minutes and 41 seconds to go here in the second quarter. The Lions kickoff team is back in for the kick. That is number 8, Braxton Dean, set to kick. Back deep to receive for Clarksville is number 15, James Nunnery. We see Braxton usually kick it to about the 25, 30-yard line, so see what he does on this
like a little squib-type kick.
Yep, so there's another little kind of squib kick fielded at the 28, and by number 10, Wacker, who has some room to run and is brought down finally at the 49-yard line, so it's a great 20-yard return there by number 10, Lachlan Wacker, for the Clarksville Generals. So they will take over 1st and 10 on their own 49 with 3:36 to go, and the Lions lead 47-0 here.
In the NCAA world, Boston College just scored on U of L. They are up 7-0.
Cardinals
7:26 left in the first.
Cardinals started hot, and they've kind of went downhill ever since then.
Yeah, they have, especially after last season.
Yep. Clarksville comes back to the line here. 2 receivers out right, 1 receiver out left. Corbett with Yates on his right and Hall on his left. There's the snap, and he's going to hand it off to Hall at the middle, and he breaks a tackle on a bounce out left and fights his way forward for about 7 yards. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 3 for Clarksville on the Lions side of the field at the 44-yard line. Great run there from number 5, Hall, for the Generals.
I have Tell City up 21-0 on Crawford County.
Yep. So looks like the way this is going, it looks like the Lions will be on the road to Tell City next week. So Corbett lines up in gun. There's the snap, and he hands it off to Yates at the middle, who bounces it out right, and he breaks a tackle and breaks another tackle, and he does cross the 40 and is brought down finally at the 36-yard line. So it's an 8-yard pickup for Brody Yates. And he was slow to get up for the second time we've seen that. But that does give the Clarksville Generals a 1st and 10 on the Lions' 36-yard line.
Yeah, that was a good hard run by the injured player. It's good to see him back up, but he's still kind of limping. It looks like he had a little bit of a tape job done on his ankle. The Generals break the huddle, 2:30 left, losing 47-0 to the Lions.
So the Generals come back to the line, 1st and 10 on the 36-yard line. Corbett in gun. It's a high snap over his head. It's going to bounce across the 50, and Corbett's just going to slide down on it at their own 44-yard line. So after a great start to this drive, the Generals have now shot themselves in the foot, and now they have taken a About a 22-yard loss there.
Hey, real quick, Brandon, another score update. Brownstown over Switzerland County 3-0.
Really? I figured that would be a higher scoring game than that. So Clarksville now has a 2nd and 30 on their own 44-yard line. Corbett back in gun. There's a snap, and it's through Corbett's hands, and he picks it up, and it's going to be a strip sack by the Lions, and it's going to be picked up by, I can't see that number. That's number 50, I believe. Looks like is that right? Is that number 50 or is that number 60, Zach?
I cannot
That's
see.
number 50, Micajah Calloway.
The quarterback is down for Clarksville. Helmet is off. Trainer tending to him.
Yeah, he was hit hard there on that, and then it was picked up by Cage Calloway, and it was returned about 26 yards there for the touchdown. So the Lions now have extended their lead to 53-0 in the second quarter with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go here before halftime. And we're going to step aside while they figure out what's going on with the Clarksville quarterback, and we will be right back.
Planning to buy some land or build a new home or maybe put up a fence? Do you know your property lines? Are you in a floodplain? When it comes to surveying your property, call someone you can trust with years of experience. That's McAllister Land Consulting. Call 812-274-0860, providing fast, friendly service at reasonable rates. McAllister Land Consulting can provide a wide range of services, including residential and commercial certified land surveys, flood elevation certificates, and land usage consulting. Get to know your property. Call McAllister Land Consulting for a free quote today at 812-274-0860.
And we are back here at Jim Ralston Field where the Lions defense has put 6 more points on the board, and they now lead 53-0 with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go here before halftime. So the Lions JV team, second team I guess I should say, is in for the 2-point conversion with number 24, Bladen Henderson in at quarterback, Corbin Boyles and DJ Ward in the backfield. JV team is getting set here. Henderson under center. There's the snap, and it's a handoff to Corbin Boyles up the middle, and he walks into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. So the Lions now extend their lead to 55-0, and we'll be back after a short commercial break.
Save the date for the Halloween Blue Bath 2024, coming up at the Stevens Museum in Salem on Saturday, October the 26th from 5 to 6:15 p.m. Bring the kids to trick or treat in costume and make your way to the grounds of the John Hay Center and visit the booths decorated by local businesses, civic groups, and organizations in the community. The event is free to the community and all ages are welcome. Bring your children in costume and stroll the museum grounds on Saturday, October the 26th from 5 to 6:15 p.m. If your business, church, or group would like to participate, call 812-620-7271 or email wslmradio@gmail.com for more information.
And we are back here at Jim Ralston Field where the Lions have extended their lead to 55-0 with 1.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Also, a score update, Providence has now taken the lead 21-0 over Springs Valley at halftime. There's the kick from Braxton Dean, and it bounced off of the front lineman for Clarksville and was recovered by number 6, Noah Deaton, I believe. No, they did recover it. So, for those at home, Braxton just kicked a low kick, and it bounced off of the front line's face mask, but was recovered by the Clarksville kid. So now they take over 1st and 10 on their own 47, minute 28 to go here before halftime. They currently trail 55-0.
Wasn't the Oregon-Ohio State game? It was like a line drive kick, and the same thing happened.
Yep, like Oregon recovered that.
Yeah,
one,
they
though.
did. Unintentional, but they recovered it.
Yep.
And at 28.5, Lions up 55-0. Clarksville breaks the huddle.
So Clarksville comes back to the line here, 1st and 10 on their own 47. There isn't a new quarterback in for Clarksville. I can't see the number. I think it's 13. There's the snap, and he hands it off to Hall around the right side. He's got a little bit of running room, but it ended quickly. He does pick up a yard around the right side. So that was number 5, Josh Hall for Clarksville. That quarterback in is Brian Chongo, I guess is how you pronounce that. He is a freshman, 6 foot, 160-pound quarterback.
Yeah, Corbett, for, off the last play of the play before, took a shot on the strip sack. He's over there on the sidelines walking around with the trainers.
So I'm guessing they're trying to get him back ready to go back in. So Chongo brings his team back to the line. 2 backs in the backfield. That's Yates and Hall, receiver on either side. And there's the snap, and he hands it off to Hall around the right side, who is brought down for a 1-yard loss at the original line of scrimmage, I believe. Are they going to give him the same line of scrimmage? What are we going to do here, Zach?
Hall is slow to get up.
Yeah, he's been taking some shots tonight, and you're right. After that one, he was a little slow to get up. So they're going to give him the original line, back to the line of scrimmage, so it's going to now be 3rd and 9. But that is going to bring us to halftime, I believe. I can't imagine Clarksville wanting to run another play here. Yep, so that's going to take us to our halftime break. So at Jim Ralston Field, the Lions now have the lead at halftime over the Clarksville Generals, 55-0, and we will be back after our halftime show.
It's time for the Commissioner's Corner, an exclusive weekly conversation about Indiana high school sports with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. Now for an up-to-the-minute report about what's happening in the constantly changing world of high school sports, here's Coach Bob Lovell with Commissioner Paul Neidig.
Welcome back, everyone. We're glad you can join us for another conversation with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. And Paul, it's fall. We have a lot going on. I mean, we always know that when you and I talk each week, we have tournaments, especially now wrapping up fall sports. And so clearly it's a very busy schedule. We have the sectionals for football starting this weekend, volleyball regionals, soccer semi-state, tennis individual championships, cross-country regionals. What did I leave out? And it's going to be a busy, busy weekend.
You covered it all, Coach, but it is a busy weekend, but like I said, it's busy for a lot of people. And, our farmers are out there putting grain in the grain bins, and they're working their tails off, and our coaches are doing the same, trying to get their teams ready to have some tournament success here after a great regular season. And it's a busy time of the year, but, it's so much fun. It's so much fun for families and kids and coaches and communities.
I will tell you, those young men and women who live on farms in our state, and there are quite a few kids, I'm not sure how they find the time to do all the things they do, to help the family farm and do the things they're supposed to do and compete at the highest level in our state. It's one of the cool things. It makes you really proud to be a part of high school sports in our state, knowing that kids like that are out there battling and doing all they can to have fun and win games after all the things that they do work-wise with the family.
It is, Coach. It's about the community. I mean, these kids grow up in the fabric of the community, and the old Indiana legends of having a goal on the side of a barn, learning a game of basketball is true. I mean, I've played on those goals, and my friends have played on those goals, and I drive around the state. They're still out there, and that's what is so special about Indiana that I hope we never take away. It's about community matters first, and giving these kids an opportunity to grow up in a community that supports them is really, really important.
As I mentioned earlier, we're playing football this weekend. we have sectionals, for 1 through 4A this week, and special time of year. 5 and 6 obviously have the bye, and they'll start next week in the semifinals. But we're at that point where we are now going to be playing on Friday night. Paul Condry and I many times have mentioned he thinks winning a sectional in football is the hardest championship to win in the IHSAA because of all various factors. You got to win on the road, grading periods, all kinds of things factor into it. So it is a very, very difficult championship to acquire for teams.
It is, Coach, and sometimes we've got several teams that are awful good in that sectional based on the geographic location of them, and so you have the competition aspect, but then all those other things that you just mentioned are part of it too. And I don't disagree with Coach or Paul Condra and yourself. I do think it's a tough tournament to win, and you got to be at your best. Those kids have been coached up and they've learned, and hopefully the injuries haven't mounted and they're ready to make a run. But, at the end of the day, we're going to celebrate 6 state champions. We're not going to celebrate 12 or 15 or any of the rest. There's going to be 6, and they've got to get through that tournament all the way through to Lucas Oil Stadium.
As we speak, we are out now practicing. Our winter sports are getting ready to open up their seasons. They're beginning their practice sessions as we speak.
That's right, Coach. Girls basketball has begun. Girls wrestling has begun. And we're just around the corner from swimming starting off here and boys wrestling. And obviously boys and boys basketball.
There's a lot going on. As always, get out, support your local student athletes this week for not just football, but for everything else involved. And we always encourage you, take the time to be good sports about it. Sportsmanship is important. It's a great lesson to teach our kids. Join us next week again for Paul Neidig as we continue the IHSAA athletic season. Commissioner, thanks so much. Have a great week.
Thanks, Coach, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Commissioner's Corner with IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig and Coach Bob Lovell. And thank you for your continued support of the high schools in your community.
The Washington County Republican Party wants you to exercise your right to vote in the upcoming November general election. Please consider these local, state, and national candidates for your choice on November the 5th. Elect your local Republican candidates. Washington County Clerk Stephanie Rocky, Washington County Treasurer Nancy Coates, Washington County Coroner Shonda Keltner, Washington County Surveyor Emily Rodman, Commissioner District 1 Philip Marshall, Commissioner District 3 Anthony Cardwell, County Council at Large 3 seats Brad Gilbert, Todd Armstrong, and Mark Bubba Abbott. Elect your Indiana Republican candidate, President Donald J. Trump, U.S. Senator Jim Banks, U.S. Representative Aaron Houghton, Governor Mike Braun, Attorney General Todd Rokita, State Representative District 65 Chris May, State Representative District 69 Jim Lucas, State Representative District 70 Karen Engelman. Early voting is underway at the Washington County Judicial Center. Call 812-883-5748, or you can vote between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. on Tuesday, November the 5th. Either way, please be sure to exercise your right to vote. Vote on November the 5th and make a difference. Vote Republican for Washington County, Indiana, and our nation. This ad is paid and approved by the Washington County Republican Party.
The Chacaroni is back. Get the extra cheesy, extra pepperoni pizza with extra large slices only from Papa John's. A pizza so big, you're going to have to share it. We're talking 8 boldy, shaky, stacky slices. It all starts with Papa John's fresh, never frozen original dough and stretched into an extra large pizza. And it's topped with extra cheese and extra pepperoni for that ooey gooey, peppy, pleasy taste. Order one today online or with your Papa John's app, or call the Salem location at 812-883-3369. Each Chacaroni pizza is $12.99. Remember, better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Better get you some Papa John's today by calling Reese at the Salem store at 812-883-3369.
The City of Salem Park and Recreation Department is planning Biddy Ball, Basketball, and Winter League for the coming month. Sign-ups will be at the Park and Rec office in Salem City Hall through October the 31st. For additional information, contact Tom Foltz at 812-883-2895 or stop by the office in City Hall. Save the date for the Halloween Blue Bath 2024, coming up at the Stevens Museum in Salem on Saturday, October the 26th from 5 to 6:15 p.m. Bring the kids to trick-or-treat in costume and make your way to the grounds of the John Hay Center and visit the booths decorated by local businesses, civic groups, and organizations in the community. The event is free to the community and all ages are welcome. Bring your children in costume and stroll the museum grounds on Saturday, October the 26th from 5 to 6:15 p.m. If your business, church, or group would like to participate, call 812-620-7271 or email wslmradio@gmail.com for more information.
Sprained ankles, swollen joints, and no time for an appointment? Schneck Medical Center has you covered. Visit our orthopedic walk-in clinic for expert care. Our specialists provide fast attention to a number of bone and joint problems. No appointment necessary. Available Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. For more information, visit schneckmed.org. Schneck, healthy together.
Hoosier fans, join Indiana football at Memorial Stadium. Head coach Kurt Signetti leads your Hoosiers into action Saturday, October 26th against the Washington Huskies. Purchase your tickets today for all remaining home games this fall by calling 812-855-4006 or by visiting IUHoosiers.com. Cheer on the Hoosiers to victory and help pack the rock. Go IU.
What a weekend for Purdue basketball. They're the all-time leader in Big Ten titles.
He's cooking today.
And they play right here all year long. You don't want to miss a single game of Boiler Ball this season.
He dunks with two hands. What a weekend to be a Boilermaker.
The Purdue Boilermakers play here.
Give Du Bois County Tire a call. Big or small, they service all. They have the main brand tires, you know, to keep you cruising on down the road. They got tires for private needs. They even got them for your farm machine. You can call them day or night. Du Bois County Tire does it right. Big or small, we service all. Du Bois County Tire.
Now through October 31st, get up to $160 back by mail on a Firestone Visa prepaid card. Get $60 when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Get an additional $100 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your CFNA credit card. Available at Washington County Tire Shop in Salem. Subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. See Washington County Tire Shop or FirestoneRewards.com for details.
Big or small, we service all. Du Bois County Tire.
Got land? Want cash? Vital Farms is here to help. Become an egg farmer and we'll set you up with our best-in-class support team. Teach you egg farming our way and compensate you fairly for the eggs you produce. Call 844-494-VITAL today to learn how you can transform tree-filled or underutilized land into cash flow for your family. Again, our number is 844-494-VITAL or apply online at vitalfarms.com/farmers.
When you want to honor your loved one, you choose someone you can trust. Marshall Monuments, Southern Indiana's monument experts. In their 78 years of community service, Marshall Monuments has provided excellence and experience and continues to take pride in workmanship and guarantees satisfaction in the final product. Whether you're looking for a custom monument, stones, or mausoleums or military markers, Marshall Monuments not only services all of Kentuckiana, but can come to you when you can't make the trip to the local office. Corey Churchman and the staff at Marshall Monuments do everything by hand and stand by the quality of their work. When you're dealing with Marshall Monuments in Salem, you're working with expert craftsmanship and specially trained stone artisans. Call or text today at 812-412-2014 for a free estimate and to set up an appointment to see their quality work. Or stop by the shop at 106 South Water Street in Salem, Indiana. Top quality stonework at hometown prices.
And we are back here at Jim Ralston Field, waiting for halftime to be over with. The Salem Lions are up over the Clarksville Generals 55-0. We saw a lot of second-team defense play for the Lions. There were some injuries on the offensive side of the ball for Clarksville. You know, it's just been a slow-go game today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 55-0. Most of those points, 39-0 at halftime the first quarter. So obviously, the Lions' offense just struck very quickly. Now, the defense does have 2 touchdowns on the board, I believe. Yes, 2 touchdowns on the board for the defense. The Clarksville Generals, pretty much the name of the game was turnovers for them in the first half. They turned the ball over on 4 of their first 6 drives. Then we had another 5th turnover later on. That was the 2nd defensive touchdown. So Clarksville has kind of just shot themselves in the foot and put themselves in this position that they're in currently. But we'll go over some local games that we've got score updates. The last update we had for Paoli was 22-0. Paoli was up. I'm sure that has been extended by now over Eastern. The Providence Pioneers lead the Springs Valley Blackhawks 21-0 at halftime. The Silver Creek Dragons are on the road tonight at Connorsville, and they have a 26-0 lead over Connorsville at halftime. North Harrison Corden all knotted up at halftime 7-7. Brownstown Central holds a 16-0 lead over Switzerland County. Scottsburg had a 42-0 score at the end of the first quarter over Owen Valley. We have not seen an update since then. And West Washington holds a 14-0 lead here as they near halftime, I believe, as well. For us, we have about, do they even extend the halftime for the sectional?
I would assume so, the way the players are warming up.
I don't know, because you can't get bands or anything performing.
I don't know.
So we'll see here. Normally they extend a 3 minutes after the actual 15-minute halftime, but Zach and I are trying to decide if that's how they do it for sectional.
In the meantime, I will give you some quick first half stats.
Yeah, go ahead and give some stats, Zach.
Like always, these are not official, just an estimate, so you have an idea of how the game's going. Adam Mull has 2 carries for 19 yards, averaging 9.5 yards a carry, and he has thrown 3 touchdown passes and has 74 yards passing. Dent is nearing the century mark. He is 98 yards on the ground on 7 attempts, averaging 14 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns for him. Deaton has 3 carries tonight for 31 yards, a little over 10 yards a carry. And then, as in case you're adding all that up, the rushing total for Salem is 168 yards. In Clarksville, they have number 22 has 43 yards on 9 attempts. When I say this stat, this is due to fumbles, not really rushing yards. But the quarterback has negative 36 rushing yards, and that comes from a 9-yard fumble, a 4-yard loss on a fumble, a 2-yard loss on a fumble, and a 22-yard loss.
I did just find out that if it is a bad snap or anything like that to the quarterback, that does not count as a loss of yards.
Really?
I did just find that out. But for the meantime, obviously, we'll just leave it for right now, just to let you know that Clarksville went mostly negative, not positive.
Josh Hall, number 5 for Clarksville, 9 yards rushing on 4 attempts. And then the quarterback, number 9, Corbett, he has 6 completions for 19 yards.
Now, we did see number 9, Corbett, go down late in the second quarter. He did not return to the game. I don't see him over there warming up on the sideline, so they may have removed him from the game due to his injury. But we also saw number 22, Brody Yates, go down early in the second quarter as well. He did return to the game before halftime, so we look to see him continuing to carry the ball here after halftime.
Yeah, it'll be interesting watching him. He went down, or he was slow to get up on a run, went to the huddle, went down, went over to the sidelines, got taped up, came back in, had a good run, really, and was slow to get up again, and that was kind of the end of the drive for Clarksville.
Yeah, so basically the name of the game for Clarksville has been penalties and turnovers. We're going to see their kickoff team here for the first time here get the second half underway. We've got 20 seconds here to go before halftime ends. It will be interesting to see if Coach Gleasing does bring out his starters on offense here.
Yeah, and I expect fully a running clock the full second half.
Yes, the running clock will be going as the Lions do have a 55-0 lead. I could imagine that Coach Gleasing will have his JV offense out there.
I would imagine. Maybe not the first drive, but I would imagine a majority of the
which is
half.
possible. So into kick for Clarksville looks like number 11, Jorge Santos. He is a 5'5", 190-pound junior. And back deep to receive for the Lions is Noah Deaton and Seth Ponsford. So the second half action is underway. There's the kick from Santos. It's a good kick down to about the 20-yard line, fielded by Noah Deaton. And he's off running, has a big hole to run through up the middle, is brought down from behind by a general. There's a flag on the play late. I think it's going to be a late hit maybe.
It was late, and it came from the far side of the field.
So the current drive it's going to be a block in the back, I think, right? Is that a block in the back on the Lions?
Yes.
Yes, that is an illegal block in the back on the Lions. So that is going to be a 10-yard penalty. So that's going to start the Lions' offensive drive at their own 33-yard line. The JV offense is in with number 12, Ethan Campbell, at quarterback. There is a running clock, so this half probably will take less time than the first quarter did, Zach.
I would say probably so. Salem does have more penalty yards than Clarksville this half. We have 40 penalty yards in this game. Clarksville has 25.
So Campbell lines up under center with Boyles in the backfield, a receiver on either side. There's the snap to Campbell. He hands it off to Boyles up the middle, who fights his way forward through a tackler. He picks up about 5 yards down to the 38-yard line. So that's going to be a 2nd and 5 for the Lions, and that's going to be a 5-yard pickup there for number 34, the freshman Corbin Boyles.
Yeah, one thing I do got to say good about Corbin Boyles as a freshman, he does a very good job running with 2 hands on the ball.
Yes, he does. We don't really have to worry about him turning the ball over a whole lot. The Lions break the huddle, come back to line. Campbell under center with Boyles and Ward in the backfield. And there's a man in motion. That's Waylon Foster. There's a snap. He tosses it to Ward on the left side. There is a stoppage in the play, and it's going to be an offside on Clarksville. Not really sure what happened there, but that's going to be a 5-yard penalty, and it's going to give the Lions a first down, I believe, correct?
I would imagine.
So that's going to should be a first and 10, or 2nd and 5.
Yes, there's a
So it's going to be 1st and 10 Lions after the 5-yard penalty. So that is going to give the Lions 1st and 10 on their own 43-yard line. They break the huddle and come to the line. Campbell under center with Boyles and Ward in the backfield. And Waylon Foster in motion. There's the snap, and he tosses it right to Ward, who finds a little hole to the right and spins his way down to the 49-yard line. So it's going to be a 6-yard pickup there for number 23, DJ Ward, and that is going to give the Lions a 2nd and 4 here on their own 49-yard line.
Yeah, DJ Ward comes in as a 5'11", 158 sophomore. Oh, there's a flag.
There was a flag. Sideline warning on Lions, so it's not going to move them back, but if they get it again, that's going to be a 15-yard penalty, I believe.
Anyways, back to what I was saying, DJ Ward, he's a 5'11", 158 sophomore. I have high expectations for him next season and as he progresses in his career. He is another hard runner for the Lions. He hits the hole at full speed. You got to appreciate how he runs.
Yeah, and he's also gotten a lot of varsity time this year, not just in the JV group. So Campbell back to the line, Ward and Boyles in the backfield. And there's the snap to Campbell. He hands it off to Boyles up the middle, who bounces it out right, and he's got some room to run, and he's going to run across the 30, across the 25, 20, 15, 10, and he's brought down from behind finally at the 4-yard line. So that's going to be about what was that, Zach? About a 47-yard pickup there for number 34, freshman Corbin Boyles. So that's going to set the Lions up 1st and goal at the 4-yard line of the Generals.
I like what I'm seeing here from the JV players.
JV's plays, they look good right now. Now, obviously, you can't really compare it because of the competition they're playing, but they do look good, and they've moved the ball well so far.
And like I said, it's good to get these live reps in for the younger players. You really can't simulate this in practice.
No. So Campbell back to the line, Ward and Boyles in the backfield. Campbell under center. There's the snap, and he's going to keep it in. No, he's going to toss it to DJ Ward, and DJ Ward is going to fight his way into the end zone, and that is going to be another touchdown for the Lions.
Bang, 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 bang! Vamonos, vamonos! Bang, bang, bang! Vamonos, vamonos!
So the Lions now extend their lead to 61-0 over the Generals, pending the 2-point conversion. Ethan Campbell back under center. Ward and Voiles in the backfield. There's a snap. Campbell looks back, throws a fade ball to Ethan Larimore, but it is broke up in the back right corner of the end zone. Great defensive play there by number 82, Zion Stewart, for the Generals. So the lead is going to stay at 61-0 with 7.5 minutes to go here in the third, and we're going to step aside for a short commercial break.
Sprained ankle, swollen joints, and no time for an appointment? Schneck Medical Center has you covered. Visit our orthopedic walk-in clinic for expert care. Our specialists provide fast attention to a number of bone and joint problems. No appointment necessary. Available Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. For more information, visit schneckmed.org. Schneck, healthy together.
And we are back here at Jim Ralston Field, where the Lions have now extended their lead 61-0 with 7.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And Zach's got some score updates, Zach. What are they here?
Tell City is a game we're watching. That the winner of this game will play the winner of the Tell City Crawford County. Tell City's up 42-0. Providence is up 28-0 over the Blackhawks. And Brownstown is in a close one, 16-8.
Well, in the meantime, Salem has kicked the ball off, and Clarksville is running a lateral play on the kickoff return, and it's going to be picked up by number 81, Rory Davidson, and he walks it into the end zone. So a junior, number 81, Rory Davidson, gets a fumble recovery touchdown there for the Lions. And the ball kind of just fell at his feet. He picked it up, walked it into the end zone after a attempted lateral kickoff return for the Lions. So the Lions now lead 67-0 with 6:50 to go here in the third quarter, and they are sending their JV offense out for the two-point conversion.
I don't know what to say about that. Even the Clarksville players don't know what happened. They were looking at each other, shrugging shoulders. They didn't know what happened.
Yeah, it was
a bad play was made worse.
Yeah, a bad play went even worse than it was already. The Clarksville kid just tried to kind of toss a lateral, and I don't think the other kid that he was tossing it to really even expected it. So he didn't catch it, and the ball just fell to the ground, was recovered by the Lions, and walked
pretty much
into
in
the
stride.
Yeah, I mean, it almost bounced up to him. It looks like the Lions are just going to take a delay a game here. They're taking a delay a game on the two-point conversion. Interesting strategy there from Coach Gleason and his staff. So that's going to set the two-point conversion now to the 8-yard line.
By 40 and counting down with this running clock, Salem is up 67-0 over the Generals in the third quarter. The play is coming in via Ethan Larimore.
Lions break the huddle. Campbell takes his team to the line. He lines up under center. Voiles the lone back in the backfield. Ethan Larimore spread out wide right. There's the snap. There's a flag on the play, and it's another delay game on the Lions. So now that's going to make the two-point conversion spot the 13-yard line. So I believe the first delay of game might have been intentional. I don't think the second one was. I think that was accidental.
There is still a running clock.
So the Lions come back to the line. Campbell still under center. There is number 10, Braden Walters in motion. Dylan Walters in motion. There's the snap and the toss to him, and he is brought down in the backfield. So that's going to be a no-good two-point conversion. So the score is going to stay 67-0 with 4 minutes and 39 seconds to go in the third quarter. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we will be right back.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're good at insurance, but not just any insurance. We're good at...
No.
Did you forget the parking brake? Yes, you forgot the parking brake. Insurance. When the forecast calls for cheese ball size hail insurance. Even shouldn't have parked under that tree. Insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Call your Washington County Farm Bureau agent, Jason Petmeyer, at 620-8923.
So we are back here at Jim Ralston Field with 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go here in the third quarter and counting. The Lions now lead 67-0. A score update is Paoli now has a 42-0 lead over Eastern, and Brownstown takes a 22-8 lead over Switzerland County. So there's the kick from Braxton Dean. It's fielded by Wacker about the 20. He fumbled the kickoff but did recover it. But he makes his way down to the 30, so about a 10-yard return there for Wacker. So Ethan Laramore's lining up on the wrong side of the field there, Zach. So the Generals come back out on offense here, 1st and 10 on their own 30. They trail 67-0 with about 3:10 to go and counting in the third quarter. Also, another score update is Boston College now has a 14-0 lead over the Cardinals out of Louisville. So that's another good game to keep an eye on. Clarksville comes to the line here. Number 13, Chongo in at quarterback. Yates and Hall in at 2 running backs. There's the snap, and he hands it off to Yates, who bounces it out right, and there's a flag on the play. And for the moment, it's a 2-yard pickup for the Generals, but I think this one's going to go 10 yards backwards.
Seems like there's been a lot of that tonight, Brandon.
Yeah, a lot of holding calls. Pretty much, it's actually on the Lions. So I'm guessing that was a face mask then. Did you see that call, Zach?
I didn't see the call.
It was a 5-yard penalty, so it's going to be a face mask, I believe, on the Lions.
There is an injured Lion. That looks like it's number 63, Braxton Buckus. He's a senior, I believe, too.
I think you're correct. Yes. So Clarksville comes to the line, 1st and 2, after the 3-yard run plus the 5-yard penalty. Chongo under center, Yates and Hall in the backfield. There's a snap, and Chongo's going to keep it himself around the left side. He cuts it back across the field, gets a block, has some room to run, still gets some blocks, has some blocking downfield, and he's off running down the sideline across the 50, across the 45, spins his way across the 40, and Chongo runs one direction on the field, runs the complete opposite direction, but picks up 23 yards there for the Generals, down to the Lions' 39-yard line.
Yeah, on the stat sheet it's going to be a 23-yard pickup, but that was probably like a 63-yard run.
So a football field is 53 yards wide. He ran to one side, ran to the other side, and then ran north. So he was on his way to the Brownstown game to watch that one. So the Generals come back to the line here. Chongo under center, Hall and Yates in the backfield. Receiver on both sides. 1st and 10. There's a snap, and he hands it off to Hall in the backfield, and he cuts it back across left. He's trying to go to West Washington. He cuts it across the 35, stiff arms the Lion down to the 30. He does pick up about 9 yards, 10 yards to the 29, so that's going to be right at the first down marker, and they're going to give it to him, so it's going to be 1st and 10 Clarksville.
You know, you can't dog Clarksville if they're still trying.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is the hardest we've seen them play the whole game.
As we do near the end of the third quarter, 30 seconds and counting down as we have the running clock. 67-0 lead for the Lions.
So the Clarksville Generals come back to the line. Chongo under center, Hall and Yates. There's a snap, and Chongo fumbles the snap, and it is recovered. They're going to mark Chongo down. So they're going to keep the ball with the Generals, I believe. Is that correct?
That's the way I'm taking it. I really don't know that happened, but it looks like they're still going to give it to Clarksville.
I think so. Either way, that brings us to the end of the third quarter. Lions lead 67-0, and we will be back after a short commercial break.
When you want to honor your loved one, you choose someone you can trust. Marshall Monuments, Southern Indiana's monument experts. In their 78 years of community service, Marshall Monuments has provided excellence and experience and continues to take pride in workmanship and guarantee satisfaction in the final product. Whether you're looking for a custom monument, stones, or mausoleums or military markers, Marshall Monuments not only services all of Kentuckiana, but can come to you when you can't make the trip to the local office. Corey Churchman and the staff at Marshall Monuments do everything by hand and stand by the quality of their work. When you're dealing with Marshall Monuments in Salem, You're working with expert craftsmanship and specially trained stone artisans. Call or text today at 812-412-2014 for a free estimate and to set up an appointment to see their quality work. Or stop by the shop at 106 South Water Street in Salem, Indiana. Top quality stonework at hometown prices.
And we are back here at Jim Ralston Field where the Lions hold a lead 67-0 at the start of the fourth quarter against the Clarksville Generals. We were mistaken a couple plays ago. I thought they gave them the first down. It ended up being second and, I don't know, an inch maybe?
Yeah.
And then there was a fumbled snap that Clarksville did recover. So now it's 3rd and 1 on the 30-yard line here for the Generals. They're in positive territory on the Lions side of the field. Chongo under center. Hall and Yates in the backfield, 2 receivers out right. There's the snap to Chongo. He hands it off to Yates around the left side. He picks up the first down plus some, and he's fighting for extra yards. He's across the 15 down to, I believe, about the 14, I think is where they're going to mark him. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Generals after a, what was that, Zach? How big of a pickup was that?
About a 15-yard gain.
Yeah, about a 16-yard pickup there for Yates. He was slow to get up. He's making his way back into the huddle.
He has been injured once already. He's still limping around on that ankle that they took.
So the Generals come back to the line here. Chongo under center. Hall and Yates in the backfield. A receiver on both sides. 2 receivers out left, 1 receiver out right. And there's the snap to Chongo. He hands it off to Hall on the left side, cuts it back up the middle, runs into a Lion, but pushes him backwards and fights his way forward for a 6-yard pickup down to the 8-yard line. So it's going to be 2nd and 4. Where are they marking him? At the 8 or the 9? Going to mark him at the 8. So it's going to be a 6-yard pickup there for Hall. So it's going to be 2nd and 4 for the Generals on the Lions' 8-yard line. They look to put their first points on the board.
Ever since they went to they changed quarterbacks, they have went under center from gun.
Chongo back under center. Hall and Yates in the backfield. 2 wide receivers out right. And there's the snap to Chongo. He hands that off to Yates, who makes his way up the middle. He's still fighting for yards. His push for it gets at the first down, plus another yard or 2. So it's going to be down to the 3-yard line. What are they at? Down to the 3-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and goal on the 3-yard line for the Generals. Big hard run there from Yates after the injury. For Clarksville's sake here, I hope they do score. 10 minutes to go now in the fourth, 67-0. Lions have the lead. Chongo back under center. Hall and Yates in the backfield, a receiver on both sides. There's the snap to Chongo. He hands it off to Yates around the left side, who makes his way around the left end and into the end zone. And Clarksville finally puts points on the board as they cut the Salem lead down to 67-6 here with 9.5 minutes to go. That touchdown run was a 3-yard carry by number 22, Brody Yates. We've called his name a lot. He's been running the ball a lot, and you can tell by the way he's moving around.
Yeah, he has 70 of the 81 rushing yards for Clarksville tonight.
Yep, and he is making his way slowly back to the huddle. They break the huddle for the 2-point conversion. Chongo goes back under center. Hall and Yates in the backfield, 2 wide receivers out right. And there's the snap to Chongo, and he hands it off to Yates up the middle, who walks in untouched into the end zone. So Clarksville puts their first points on the board, plus 2. So now the score is 67-8 with 8:50 to go in the fourth quarter. And we're going to step aside for a short commercial break, and we will be right back.
Drew and Jonathan Scott here to tell you that American Family Insurance is committed to protecting your dream home so that your family has a place to share laughs, celebrations, and milestones, which is why their new homeowner discount rewards customers who have purchased a new home in the last 3 years with a discount on their homeowner's policy. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Contact Rodney Bruff, agent at Rodney S. Bruff Agency Incorporated at 812-277-1400 today.
Discounted savings amounts and eligibility will vary. Some restrictions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6,000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin. Products not available in every state.
And we are back here at Jim Ralston Field, 8:52 in the fourth quarter. Clarksville cuts into the Salem lead, 67-8. We have a few score updates. Tell City, Crawford County is 42-0. Yes, I believe. Providence and Springs Valley. Springs Valley scored 7-28 over in French Lick. Silver Creek's up 33-0 over Connorsville. And I had a Brownstown score here for you. I just got the update. 22-8. 22-8, Brownstown over Switzerland County at halftime. At halftime, like we said, the Tell City Crawford County game is going to determine where, at this point, Salem really is going to go play, and I'm guessing Tell City. And there is the kick. It is a deep kick. A fumbled snap.
Fielded by Rory Davidson at the 25, and he's off running around the left side where he fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by number 12 for the Generals, Sam Moreland, at the Lions' 35-yard line.
Anyways, to go back to what I was talking about, more than likely we are going to see a Salem-Tell City game, and the way the playoff bracket works, since Tell City's on the road, Salem's home, we will be traveling to Tell City, and I believe they are on a different time zone than we are. Yes. They are an hour behind us.
So stay updated for that game start next week, because we're not exactly sure what it'll be yet. I'm assuming it's going to be 7:30 our time, 6:30 their time, or it could be 7 our time, 6 their time.
Technically, it's supposed to be 7 o'clock local time.
Yeah, which would be then 8 o'clock our time. Correct. So another score update is Martinsville has a lead over Charlestown 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. And I believe that's it. Oh, North Harrison has a 13-7 lead over Cordy. There's a snap to Chongo. He hands it off to Hall around the right end, who's got some blocking. He's down the sideline and is ran out of bounds about the 22-yard line. So it's going to be a 13-yard pickup there for number 5, Hall. And that's going to bring up a first down for Clarksville on the Lions' 22-yard line.
7:20 remaining on this running clock in the fourth quarter. Salem up 67-8.
So the kickoff got kind of confusing. It was a good kick by Clarksville, was muffed by the Lions' return man. He picks it up, returns it, gets hit, and it comes out again. So the Generals did get the ball back. So now Chongo's under center, 1st and 10 on the 22. There is the snap to Chongo. He hands it off to number 20 up the middle. We have not called his name yet. That is number 20, Miles Yates. That's Brody's younger brother, I'm guessing, where he makes his way forward for about 5 yards there down to the 22-yard line. So that's going to be, or the 17-yard line, my fault. It's going to be a 5-yard pickup there for Miles Yates.
Yeah, Miles Yates, he comes in at 5'6", 160 pounds as a sophomore. He's a built running back. He's more of a fullback type body, I'd say.
Clarksville back to the line. Chongo under center. Yates in the backfield. Receiver on either side. And there's a snap to Chongo. He hands it off to Brody Yates around the left side. Gets a block from his brother, but he makes his way around the left end, and he is going to go push his way into the end zone. It's going to be a 17-yard run touchdown for the Generals. So now we've seen some life out of the Generals, but I fear that it's too little too late, as they have now cut the Lions' lead down to 67-14 with 5:55 to go here in the fourth quarter.
The clock is still ticking due to the running clock. 2-point attempt ensuing. I am assuming a 2-point attempt. They have no reason but to.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-point attempt.
So Chongo back under center, Yates in the backfield. Receiver on either side. There's the snap to Chongo. He hands it off to Miles Yates up the middle, who fights his way towards the goal line. I don't know if he got in. He got in, so it's going to be a successful 2-point conversion. So now that makes the score 67-16. The Lions lead with 5:15 and counting to go here in the fourth. Zach and I are going to take a short commercial break, and we will be right back.
Save the date for the Halloween Blue Bath 2024, coming up at the Stevens Museum in Salem on Saturday, October the 26th from 5 to 6:15 p.m. Bring the kids to trick or treat in costumes and make your way to the grounds of the John Hay Center and visit the booths decorated by local businesses, civic groups, and organizations in the community. The event is free to the community and all ages are welcome. Bring your children in costume and stroll the County's Gym Grounds on Saturday, October the 26th from 5 to 6:15 p.m. If your business, church, or group would like to participate, call 812-620-7271 or email wslimradio@gmail.com for more information.
And we are back here at Jim Ralston Field, where the Lions' lead now has been cut to 67-16 by the Generals with 4:15 to go here and counting in the fourth quarter. Clarksville set in to kick. That's Santos in to kick. Back deep to receive for the Lions looks like Henderson and Walters. There's the kick from Santos, and it's going to be fielded at the 20 by Henderson. Takes it down the right side, runs into a group of Generals, and is brought down about the 31-yard line. So the Generals will take over 1st and 10 on their own 31. And I think this is probably going to be the last drive of the game, Zach.
Yeah, I'd assume so. The number 2 team for the Salem offense is out there. You know, you really can't say anything bad about doing that. Getting live reps for the number 2.
Yeah.
Protecting your starters for next week as you start looking down the road.
Yep, and I'm not going to lie, I had that call completely wrong. The Lions were returning the ball. They have it 1st and 10 on the Lions' 32-yard line. I said the Generals returned the ball. So the Lions, not the Generals, break the huddle. And that's Henderson in at quarterback with Boyles and who's that else in the backfield? Ward?
I think it's Ward.
There's the snap to Henderson. He tosses it out left to Walters. And he is brought down after a loss of 2 yards, I believe. 1.5 yards. So it's going to be a 2-yard loss there for the Lions. So that's going to put them back at the 30-yard line. It's going to bring up 2nd and 12.
2:45 and counting in the fourth quarter. 67-16. Salem up over Clarksville.
It is Braden Walters in the backfield out there with is that number 30. Who is that running back? Zach, you see that number? So Henderson back in the back, under center. And there's the snap, and he hands it off up the middle to
62.
Braxton Backman? Oh, Grayson Perry. No, that can't be 62, right?
I thought I saw a 60 number. Yeah, it was 62.
Yeah, so 62, Grayson Perry. He is a 5'6", 150-pound sophomore. He's listed as an offensive lineman and a linebacker, but obviously they need to add running back to his resume. So he did gain 1 yard down to the 31, so it's 3rd and 11 on the Lions' 31-yard line for the Lions. 1:50 to go here in the fourth. Henderson under center with Perry and Walters in the backfield. That's Waylon Foster in motion there. There's the snap, and it's a toss out left to Walters, who cuts it up the middle, crosses the 35, is brought down at the 36. So that's going to be a 4th and 6 for the Lions here on their own 36-yard line. And we shall see. Do you think they punt or do you think they just run for it?
I wouldn't be surprised if looks like we're going to go for it.
Yep, we're going for it. Ethan Larimore is bringing in the play. So Henderson brings his team back to the line with Perry and Walters. That's Braden in the backfield. Receiver on either side. And there is the snap to Henderson, and he tosses it out right to Walters. And he is met in the backfield by a group of Generals and drove backwards. The ball came out, but they're going to mark him dead, or mark him down, and mark the play dead. So it's going to be a loss of about 4 yards there for Braden Walters, and that's going to be a 1st and 10 for Clarksville. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Clarksville on their own 30, or on the Lions' 33-yard line. So the Clarksville Generals have taken a timeout, so we're going to step aside and take a short commercial break.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're good at insurance, but not just any insurance. We're good at...
No.
Did you forget the parking brake? Yes, you forgot the parking brake. Insurance. When the forecast calls for cheese ball size tail insurance. Even shouldn't have parked under that tree. Insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Call your Washington County Farm Bureau agent, Jason Petmeyer, at 812-620-8923.
And we are back here at Jim Ralston Field, where the Lions currently hold a 67-16 lead over Clarksville with 43.8 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. And Clarksville is bringing their team to the huddle. That is number 13, Chongo, in at quarterback, and number 5, Josh Hall, and number 22, Brody Yates in the backfield. A receiver on either side of the offense here. There's the snap to Chongo. He hands it off underneath to Keyshawn Muckler, who takes it around the right side and is fighting his way forward. He's across the 20, dragging the line. He's down to the 18 or 19-yard line there, or the 16-yard line, so it's a 17-yard pickup there for Muckler. Clarksville's hurrying back to the line here to run another offensive play. There's 20 seconds to go here, and they may just let this run. Nope, they're hurrying to the line here. So Chongo back under center with Hall and Yates in the backfield. There's the snap, and he hands it off to Hall around the right side. He takes around the right side and is pushed out of bounds as time expires. So that is going to bring us to the end of the game here, where the Lions are going to take the win over the Clarksville Generals 67-16 in round 1 of sectional here. Zach, what do you have to say about that game?
You know, Salem took care of business against a rough Clarksville team. They went 0-9, just now finished 0-10. That bumps Salem up to 500, I believe. 5-5. You know, it's good to be 500. We took care of business about a team that's in a rough patch. That's all you can really say.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say there. Score updates: Brownstown over Switzerland County 22-8 at halftime. And that's currently the only thing that's different than what we had. End of the third quarter, North Harrison was beating Corden 13-7, and that's about all we've got update-wise.
While Coach Gleasing is meeting with his team, we will do a quick rundown on stats for the visiting Clarksville Generals. Number 22, Brody Yates. He is a senior. He had 87 yards on 14 attempts for 6.2 yards average, 2 touchdowns there at the end. That is the 16 points Clarksville had tonight. And number 5, Hall, he had 41 yards on 8 attempts for just a touch over 5 yards a carry. Passing-wise, in the second half, we really didn't see any passing due to the injury from the quarterback, Corbett. But Corbett ended up with an interception. He had, 6 completions, 19 yards passing. If you're tallying it up, Clarksville ended up with 136 total yards on the ground. Not a whole lot you can really say about that, Brandon.
No, I mean, they played better in the late third and early fourth quarter than they did the rest of the game. I mean, they just played a lot harder, it seemed like.
And it was against the number 2 defense for Salem.
Which I understand that, but it looked like the kids had more heart. And
I would definitely
looked
agree.
like they were playing harder. Not necessarily they played better, but they looked like they played harder.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, it was honestly a great game from the Lions offensively. What kind of offensive stats do you have for us that really shows how the Lions offense rolled tonight?
Yeah, Adam Mole, honestly, he was kind of quiet tonight. 2 carries, 19 yards, 9.5 yards a carry. 3 for 4 passing, which is 75%, 74 yards. All 3 passes were a touchdown. 2 of them to Dean. Yeah, Braxton Dean, and then 1 to Wynn. And then, of course, the workload tonight, again, was Dent. He only played, the first half?
Yeah, we never saw him in the second half.
Which you cannot disagree with that call from Coach Gleasing.
Absolutely not.
He had 2 touchdowns, 98 yards rushing on 7 attempts, averaged 14 yards a carry. One of your other key players, Eaton, he had 3 carries tonight for 31 yards, just a touch over 10 yards a carry. And then we got some JV players in.
Oh, hang on, Coach Gleason here. Coach Gleason, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, Coach, great win tonight. That's your second sectional win at Salem. Looks like Tell City is going to get the win over at Crawford County. What are you looking forward to next week with that team that we don't normally play?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun trip. They're a good football team. They're very senior dominated. I know they've been banged up throughout the year as far as some injuries go, but they're going to be a solid football team. Obviously we took care of business here tonight, and now we're on to step 2 of our mission.
The second question I have for you is, what can you tell us about how great of a season that number 4 Logan Dent's having for you?
Yeah, he's doing a great job. I mean, the big deal was early in the year we had some fumbles, and he's taking care of the football pretty much since week 1 or 2. I can't remember how far back. He's taking care of the football, and that's the most important thing. As we can tell tonight, turnovers are actually the last 2 weeks. Turnovers have been a major deal on our football team because that's been the difference in the games.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Coach Gleason, we appreciate it. Great win tonight for the guys. Good luck this next week, and let's get them a win at Tell City.
Thank you very much.
So we like to keep it short with Coach Gleason just because he likes to get back in and do his other interviews. But, Zach, do you have any more stats, or were you done?
Yeah, really the only thing left to say, whenever the second team offense came in for the second half, the most notable thing, Corbin Boyles had a 46-yard run. He was so close to running into the end zone. But, Salem took care of business against a team that's in a rut. That's all you can really ask for. Like we said, more than likely we will be traveling to the Tell City Marksman next week. Again, that is a different time zone. The time will be pending. The sectional rules say it starts at 7 o'clock local time, which would be 8 o'clock our time.
Or determined by the home team.
Exactly. So we will be pending that.
If Zach and I had to guess, it'll either be a 7 o'clock start our time, 7:30 start our time, or 8 o'clock start our time.
Yeah, we really don't know. We're just going to take it with a grain of salt. Brandon, do you really have any comments?
I mean, there's not a whole lot to say. It was 67-16. There's not a whole lot you can say in that. Clarksville's program's just kind of, like you said, in a rut right now. Hopefully they can get that figured out. But for now, I think that's really all I have to say.
Yeah, that's all I got to say. Essentially, we're 1-0 tournament play. Your record does not matter. But if you do want to do the full record, we are 5-5 now on the season. Salem has turned their season around in the second half by a lot. And, Brandon, that's all I really got to say.
Yeah, me too. Thank you guys for all tuning in here on 97.9 WSLN, the WSLN Sports Zone. And for now, I think Zach and I will be signing off. We appreciate you all, and God bless you.